All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Oops. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we are about to get started. We're going to talk about the news that happened over Thanksgiving holiday. We are
Into his rod.
it, ladies and gentlemen, and let me go ahead and post that up. I want those because I live in the area. I tell you that much, and I am familiar and very familiar in regards to where they are. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get it. But before we get into this and things today, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and things. So yeah, because we are gonna get into it today. We are gonna get into it. I'm gonna wait for some people to get on this live, and we're about to go ahead and tackle it today. I hope you guys been enjoying my man stuff, far as with the dating world and all that. I'm gonna keep it real, tell the truth on that. So I've been doing those at night, though. Kind of picking up a little traction on that, but that's okay though. That's okay. But we're gonna talk about this, we're gonna talk about it, and after this live, because I do have I'm working with some apps and things like that to help boost in my algorithm, which I've always been doing. But we have people from the Democrat Party who likes to shield, who likes to they're anti-American. They will not stand with our President Trump whatsoever, and we know why that is. I think once again, not that I know that Trump is doing an excellent job. America first, right? The things that Trump has been doing, cleaning this country up, it's a beautiful thing. I'm very satisfied. I voted for this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into the video in a minute, but I want the people to be able to see for themselves. I know where this is, though. For me being from Detroit, and I'm from the area, we wanted to go back to the way that things were. These are Palestinians, right? Here it is. Trump have already solved the issue, right? Cracking down on Hamas, right? He's had all the Arabs in the Middle East to sign the Abraham Accord, and he already designated what he's going to do to Gaza. Listen to the Palestinian community. You guys don't have a say-so in this anymore. You don't have an army. You don't have a military or any of this type of stuff. You have to accept what comes, right? And we're talking about peace in the Middle East. And demolishing Hamas is going to be the key, right? It's going to be the precipice of the, basically stabilizing the Middle East. This is state-funded organizations, right, that go out here and hurt their own people for money in the Middle East. But unfortunately, a lot of these bandits, criminals, and haters, they've been allowed to come over here to America. And I thought it was made clear that if we have people over here talking about death to America, Trump, by rights, should issue a mass deportation. It's on the way. It's on the way. I'm going to play some clips so therefore you guys can see the receipts for yourself. This guy did this speech around the Thanksgiving holiday. While we were over there enjoying ourselves, having our turkey, stuffing. They don't know anything about Thanksgiving, So Here it is. We over here enjoying our stuff, right? And like I said before I go into that, Islam does not allow themselves to assimilate with other cultures, other countries. It's either them or they're going to conquer, and this is exactly what it is. There's no effing way that we should have 55% of Arabs in a city like this. This is a hotbed, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, because I'm going to show it and prove it of what he's saying. We're going to also show the mayor, right? Abdullah Hamoud. We're going to show it. We're going to get down to it, though, you know. This is a Bazi that's speaking here right now. We're going to get down to it. Ooh, we're going to get down to it. You know, we're going to get down to it. And like I said, I'm not really worried about the viewers because I'm going to treat this as more of a video. Therefore, I got software. I got things that I could pump it up in the algorithm for people to watch later on, you know, because like I said, the enemy that's fueling this is the Democratic Party, flat out, right? They are the ones, right? They are anti-American. Under Joe Biden, they allowed all these fucking illegals to come in our country, right? These terrorists. Look what the one dude did, right? Afghani, that murdered and shot, and one of the young woman, 20 years old, right? She passed away from a deadly gunshot wound. And the other one is on critical list, you know? You know what I'm saying? This is jacked up. We brought in terrorists in the shores of America. I want them out of here. Any Arab or anyone else, if you hate America, we are coming for you. I want you out. I want you out of here. If you hate America, you got to go. Straight like that. Because I'm tired of this ish with these infidels, I call them, interlopers. They come in here into America with the intent to do vicious crimes, which is murder, shoot to kill. And that's what these people are doing. There's no reason for this. You're in the best country in the world, but it ain't good enough for you, right? You ain't gonna conquer America. We will not bow down to Islam at all. Because I got the Second Amendment right. You run up on me, you're gonna fuck around and find out. I will lay you out. And that's for anybody else. I'm tired of this bullshit. You got these motherfuckers over here, and then you got the Obama Biden allow these fuckers to come over here in the first place. And I'm mad as hell today. We done lost some soldiers and shit, National Guards. One of them passed away from a deadly gunshot wound. I'm talking about Afghanis right now. But I'm tying this ish together because it all relates to each other. I want these people out of here. I'm tired of it. Let's go and play the video. Everybody have to catch up, man. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, too. Let's go and play it.
Activists were heard chanting "Death to America" and "Death to Israel" at a rally at a Michigan city dubbed the jihad capital of the U.S. Dearborn, Michigan activist Tariq Bazi ripped the U.S. for supporting Israel and told the crowd the chant, quote, "Death to Israel" has become the most logical chant around the world. He said, quote, "It's not Genocide Joe that has to go," referring to President Joe Biden. Quote, "It's time the entire system has to go." He also said that, quote, "Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth." His comments, of course, spurred chants to call for the end of the Jewish nation, and his comments were then followed by Imam Usama Abdul Ghani, who declared that Israel is, quote, "ISIS, Israel, they are Nazis, they are
Okay, these guys right here Your ass is about to get thrown out of the damn country. We're just going to go ahead and rate you as a terrorist, straight up. You know, straight up. Death to America with so much going on, and death to Israel, so much going on. The Jewish community is outraged, and they got the most strongest lobbyists on the planet. Everybody know it. Everybody know it. They coming. They coming. You got your face exposed. Everybody in the world saw it. Everybody saw the receipts, and ain't no hiding now. Dearborn is a small city, and I can't wait till they arrest these ringleaders and everyone else. Everybody there that was at that protest, in my opinion, should be arrested. Get them out of here. If you don't like America, round your ass up and send you back. Get your ass up on out of here. These guys shouldn't be sent back. They should send them over there to El Salvador, to that prison over there, right? Guantanamo Bay, where they can understand what real pain and suffering really is, right? That's what you have to do. You have to be strict. You have to be swift, right? Because obviously the plan is to come into America, perpetrate that you love America so much, which you don't. And then when you get the numbers up, you start to take over America. In fact, we're gonna go down. I'm gonna tell you guys what the plan was with the help of the DNC. So therefore, you guys will know. I want you guys today to be well aware of this invasion. Straight like that. I want you guys to be aware, and we're gonna talk about it, right? The Islamic deception, right? Muslims are taught to deceive, right? Deceive the kafir, right? Which means non-Muslims, right? About their true beliefs in order to defend the cause of Islam and jihad. This is a deception called Taqira. Muslims will accept to be disassociated, right? Islam from terrorist acts in order to win sympathy and public opinion, especially in countries where they are outnumbered by non-Muslims. They will say that such an act does not represent the true Islam. Well, in fact, it does. Over 60% of the Quran contained verses are about killing the kafir, right? Or forcing them to live under subdued or what does it says here? Arab word, dirhami, and pay a heavy tax known as jazra, right? Dirhami must defer to the Muslims in all manners whatsoever, right? And these are the things that they believe in. As I said before, I just made it simpler. They pretend to love America in non-Muslim countries. Look what's happening in the UK. You know, Trump is not going to allow America to be like the UK. And I'm going to speak it, right? Because it's the truth. I want them out of here. I want this sheikh out of here. I want them out. And I look like we're going to get our wish. Now that it has been revealed what their intent is. And let this be a message, right? For anyone else, right? And I appreciate the subscriber that I see you there. Wanderer, on your subscribe. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. And I live in the area too, so that you know. I know where they are. I'm very familiar with Dearborn, right? It's 55% of them here. You know? Right? I'm talking about mostly Lebanese, but these are Palestinians. Most of your Lebanese are more liberal than this. These are radicals, man. They come over here in our shore to America, preaching hate, preaching bigotry, attacking non-Muslims, you know what I'm saying? Which is Christians and others. This is what we get. And I'm gonna get on Ilhan Umar ass again too. I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that bitch in a minute. Just one moment, and we're gonna deal with this first, because this is what this. See, when you can't be, you can. Ever since the Middle East was destabilized due to the Iraqi war and all this stuff, you know, and then under Joe Biden, they allowed them to come over here to America. You know, we gave them aid, we fed them, you know, gave them facilities where they can wash their ass and everything like this. And this is the treatment that we get in return. I say round their ass up. Anybody at that palace, at that protest, round their asses up. I love the fact that Trump is going to take away their natural citizenship, right? That they've been, you know what I'm saying? He's got to pull it. These green card holders. Trump is doing the thing. He got it on these African and Middle Eastern countries. There's no more of them coming into our country. I love that. I love that. Trump, President Trump, is doing the damn thing, right? Because we don't want you. We don't want you here in America. We're seeing what happened in the UK. We're seeing what's going on. 35%. What is it? Between Birmingham and London. That's a lot, man. And Dearborn have way more, right? But these fuckers that could come over here, look at them, all big and brand net right now. Hey, you know ICE, the guards are coming to round these people up and deport them out of our country. We don't need Congress to do it. You heard what they said. I'm gonna show you what they said. Death to America. Death to America, right? They said this. And any fucking liberal that come into my room trying to defend this type of stuff, I'm gonna bounce your ass right on out of here. That's what I'm gonna do. Instead of siding with America, you better not come in here talking against this type of issue. Better not. Because I'm going to bounce you out of here today. Ain't going to be no debate. You don't control nothing in here, though. I'm going to bounce you out. Guarantee that. I'll make that a promise. You come in this room, you send your shields in here, you send your foreign people posing as Americans, I'm going to bounce your ass out of here. We're going to sit up in here and accept this. Let's go and play the rest. Hold on for a minute. Look at this.
Fascists, they are racist. Dearborn has the largest Muslim population in the United States and has become a hotbed of anti-Israel sentiment in recent months. Presidents there have led the efforts to vote uncommitted in the Democratic primary rather than to vote for Biden for his support of Israel. And the Middle East Media Research Institute Executive Director Steven Zielinski branded the city, quote, America's jihad capital in a Wall Street Journal opinion piece. He said, quote, almost immediately after the October 7th attack, people were celebrating in the streets in Dearborn. He also claimed that religious leaders in the community have called for the extermination.
Do these people look happy? No, they don't. Look at this. Look at this hatred that they're doing to America. These are Palestinian. I mean, we took your ass, brought your ass out of a bad situation under Joe Biden, which I didn't agree with. You come over here to America, now you want to get revenge. You got to go. Send their ass back to Gaza or where the fuck you got to do. Just go ahead on and get it done, which Trump is going to get done. Because that soldier did not deserve, now that's Afghani there, I understand. But it could have been any of these people. It didn't matter. Afghani, same situation. I want them out of here. I want your asses out. Out, out, out. OWT, out. And anybody that don't like it, you can get out too. This is America first. This ain't Palestine first. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, though, you know, the wandering under it. Don't let them get settled, right? We have grooming. We have grooming gangs here in the UK. Big brother. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You in the UK, man? I'm so sorry to hear that, though, man. Yeah, man, Wandering Onion, man, I'm sorry to hear that, because I know some of the things going on over there a little bit. I mean, you guys got the protest, man. What is it, 35% of Muslims over there in UK? We got 55% in Dearborn. This should have never happened. And don't worry, though. Trump is he promised his word. We're going to have an America. We're going to get our cities back. And I'm going to tell you this, though, man. They're going to crack down. They already know where they are. They got their faces. They got all type of technology and recognition, though. It's going to be a matter of time that they asses is out of here, man. Their asses is going to be out of here, as it should. Let me see here. See if I messed it up. Okay, Mark, what's that? Mark Romeo 3192 says, Big brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. He says, you the man, big dog. Yeah, I appreciate it, though, man. And I'm going to tell you this, though, too. For your foundational Black Americans, you should be happy, too. Where my foundational Blacks at? You know? Where you at, FBA? Where are you guys at? Holler if you hear me. Yeah? No problem at all, man. Yeah, Mark Romeo, man, we're going to get down. They're on their way about to get their asses up on out of here, man. We have to have a mass deportation. Then wait till the first of the year, though, man. Guys, wait until next year with the big, beautiful bill. We're going to have the budget for real to be able to hire massive thousands of ICE agents. And I know they're going to flood the zone over there in Dearborn. We need to get them up on out of there. Strip them of their so-called citizenship and ship their ass up on out the country. Because if we let this continuously go on, we're going to have some problems in America. And get that damn deer. Now, one thing about the mayor in Dearborn, you know, even though he did denounce what they were doing, but, you know, the Dearborn mayor, what's his name? Abdullah Hamoud. Abdullah is a Lebanese, right? So we already know Lebanon, right? They got Hamas over there. That's a hotbed for terrorism over there in Lebanon, man. That ain't the place that you want to be messing around in. And guess what? We got a lot of Lebanese here in Dearborn Heights, right? So this is a problem. This is a major problem. Why? Don't wait. We don't need to wait to see what they're doing. They all potentially going to be a problem because you know why? Because they are Muslims. They don't assimilate into America. They believe in conquering once their numbers are up. We see this in the UK. Wandering Onion, I believe he lives in the UK. He sees it. You know what I'm saying? Mark Romeo, you see it. You know what I'm saying? The brothers see it, right? They have taken over our communities, pushing poison in our neighborhoods. The hatred, the bigotry that they done against the blacks, right? They are the ones, right, that are, in my opinion, are anti-American, right? They sit up in here, you know, and act like they itch don't stink. It ain't good enough to be able to have a mosque. You got to have a loudspeaker blasting out the Ezan, blasting out the call to prayer, 5 a.m. in the morning like you in the Middle East. If that ain't enough nerve right there, now I'm just saying, because people, if you're from Detroit and you know where Hamtramck is, and they got a large Yemeni population in Hamtramck, they do the same thing. 5 a.m. in the morning, you hear the call to prayer, right? They act as if they are the only true religion, right? One thing about Christians, they will allow other religious groups and live in harmony. They're not all over here going and conquering, saying you got to be a Christian. But here they are. They have a history of it. Under Muhammad, they have a history of this stuff. Wherever he went, he conquered. If he did not hear the Ezan or the call of prayer in these villages and countries back in those days, he would raid, rape, and murder. That's what he would do. All in Islam, right? It ain't much different then as it is now. If you would allow them to have their numbers up, get their numbers up. I'll say this, we have to cut them off at the pass right now, and Trump is doing that. Trump understand this. You blacks, the brothers, sisters, you can't be against this, because when have an Arab ever gave a damn about the black man? Never. He acts as if he's better. You know, if you go to the Middle East, these are what they call Bedouins, right? These are peasants that come over here to America. Ones that have been allowed to come over here are peasants. I want to educate you guys. These ain't your cream of the crop Arabs that come from big time money. There's names, right, that have money. They built their money up on who? Off the backs of the black community, right? This is what ended up happening. This is another reason why I'm mad as hell. And you want to twist your nose up or whatever. I say boycott the Middle Eastern restaurants. You blacks don't need to be up in there anyway. They don't have no respect for you. As far as I'm concerned, some of them are not even clean. That's why the Bedouin in Arabic means what? Savage. That's what it means. Why was the Arab called a savage? Right? Because they did not have any type of knowledge of sanitation, cleanliness. They didn't even know how to bury their dead. Shallow graves. Right? It's a fact. Right? Let me see here. Wandering Onion says Muslims started enslaving African centuries before the Europeans. You are correct, Wandering Onion, because I was about to get that. Right? 13th century when the Arabs invaded who? Ancient Mali, Ghana, right? Your three great African empires. It was the Arabs that was into slavery, the first ones, and they continuously do it. There's nothing good about this religion. And I call you out on your bullshit. You know? How you have done the Africans, and shame on you Africans, right? To want to be associated with such a thing of this religion that you call a religion. Alhamdulillah, isn't that not like that? Alhamdulillah, please be. It ain't nothing bullshit. That's just cap, is what the young people say. Right? You know what I'm saying? We have these interlopers that have come into our country, especially under Obama-Biden, and look what they have done. Look what they have done. They hate you, they hate America, and they believe in slavery. Right? I don't fuck with none of them. You ain't got no friend in no Arab. He wants you dead. That's exactly what it is. He wants you dead. We don't break bread together. They don't want you. They want your resources. They take your women. Right? This is what it is. Death to America. This is what they're saying. You come in as a visitor, a guest, and this is what fucking happens. Yeah, I'm going to get in some ass today. That's why I say, Trump, get in their ass and get them deported. Deportation. We got to get in their ass. That's exactly what it is. As Roland Martin say, I'm twisting it up because I'm not a fan of Roland Martin. But at the same time, brothers, sisters, we got to get in their ass. And that's exactly what it is. Wandering Onion says, but they use to, castrate them. Okay, they use to castrate them so they never breed. Exactly. Castrate them. This is what they did with the African slaves, right? I know what you mean. They would castrate the black male slaves. So the black, because they were already threatened by the black man. Arabs have always been threatened by black Africans, black people in general that are men, so they castrate them so they couldn't, like you were saying, Wandering Onion, so they couldn't breed with a harem of women. That is absolutely correct. We're going to talk about it and expose it today. Right? And I can't wait. And Trump, I want him to rain down on Dearborn Heights, Hamtramck, anywhere where they are, because we can have a potential sleeper cell, right? And you got to get in their ass. That's what it is. And we're going to get in their ass and get them out of here. That's exactly what it is. We're going to sit up in here and allow this stuff. Hold on for a minute. Let me let you hear something else too, because I got many receipts. Hold on for one moment, my brothers and sisters. Hold on for a minute.
You are a bigot, and you are a racist, and you are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city.
These comments from the Muslim mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, to a resident at a city council meeting made news. The resident had committed the offense of expressing concern over a street being named after Osama Siblani.
My concern is he's a promoter of Hezbollah and Hamas.
The best suggestion I have for you is to not drive on Warren Avenue, or to close your eyes while you're doing it.
God bless you, sir.
I think
Thank
you
you.
also say that I'm an apostate, I'm going to hell based on the videos that you've dropped. So if I were you, I sit silent.
Okay.
So perhaps we shouldn't be too surprised that Dearborn has drawn the attention of people like this guy, who came in and dropped a grenade at the city council meeting.
You guys got to keep it down. Okay.
In 1900, the world was 30% white. Fast forward 125 years, we are down to 7%. The Islamification of Europe is particularly aimed at the destruction of white people. The Islamification of America is aiming to meet the same goal. Our people, white Christian, European, Western civilization, we built the arts. We built the Colosseum. We have ran the world into the industrial age. And now this people here, the Muslim community, is looking to drag us back. They're looking to oppress women, oppress homosexuals. They're looking to destroy everything that makes America great. President Trump, send ICE into Dearborn. These people have overstayed their visas. They're H-1B chain migration invaders, and they have come to this country to destroy our way of life. We know exactly your laws in your book about lying to our faces, pretending to be Americans, wearing your suits. But that doesn't happen anywhere else where you guys are in charge. There are 53 Muslim majority countries, and in all of them, it is tyranny, destruction. It is shithole living. We have to call it what it is.
True.
You guys don't live like we do. We don't want you in our country.
You don't want
we will
to.
come and eat your shawarma in Somalia, okay? We don't need it here in Michigan. We don't need it in any part of America. We have a right to self-determination. Our founding fathers fought and died for our posterity, for white Americans. And we're being driven out. You come here and you marry 4 or 5 women and you outbreed us. You change the laws. You make all of our country look like the places that you fled from. We don't want you here. Respectfully, get the fuck out of my country. I don't want you here. We don't want you here. I don't want you here. I don't want you here.
That's fine. Sure.
I don't want you here.
This is our country. And the people
out there,
the veterans, the World War II veterans, that's blood has soaked for our constitutional
right.
republic are taking a look around Europe. They're taking a look around America, and they're saying, what the hell did we fight for? We have been taken over
30
without
seconds.
a single shot fired. You guys are outbreeding, insidious parasites on the American way of life. You will never look like us. You will never eat like us. You won't build buildings like us. You are nothing. You can build nothing. Just like President Trump's great American friends have said, you guys are not us, and get the out.
Get the
America
fuck out of
first.
here.
America only.
Oh,
God bless
America
America.
first.
Jesus is king.
That's
Jesus
right.
is
Thank
king.
you.
Right.
Jesus is
That's
king.
right.
Jesus is
Thank
king.
you.
Jesus is king. Jesus is king.
Time has expired.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Order in the chambers. Order in the chambers.
And that concludes our meeting for
Speak
today.
English, motherfucker. Speak English, motherfucker. I'm gonna kick your ass here. I'm mad as hell, man.
Guys,
He's absolutely correct. And
sir, get these guys. Guys, you got to go back to the seat. Everybody back to your seats,
I'm gonna tell you,
or you'll be removed.
This is before. For those that don't know, this went viral, right? This was actually 7 days ago, not that long ago, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about the one with the white guy that's showing
You are
his,
a bigot.
you know what I'm saying? His frustration towards these infilofers that come into our country. They don't assimilate into American culture. It's all about them taking over of America. We got to keep in mind that Obama is actually part of the Muslim Brotherhood. This was done by design. This is all done by design. Make no mistakes about it, right? Why is this white guy so angry, right? If you guys actually come to Detroit, you guys, and go down Dearborn, you guys will see what we're talking about here, man. You'll see what we're talking about, right? This is not your country, Muslims. You're a guest here. You overstayed your visas. And they do a lot of criminal stuff too underneath the table. Slick, under the cover, non-tax evasion and all this shit. They do a lot of crooked stuff because they come from a lot of crooked countries. No, ain't no surprise about this. They still practicing slavery. This people here, you know what I'm saying, the Bedouin Arab that builds nothing, right? So yeah, Trump is going to send ICE and they're going to get in that ass. You got to get in the Arab's ass, right? And the way you do it, you have to send the ICE agents because they're going to be coming. And it's going to be mass deportation, especially after the first of the year. When they really had a budget, they're going to swarm ICE in that area. They're going to flood the zone. And I want to get them up on out of here. Because if you speak in Arabic and you don't know how to speak English, we pretty much can say that. And so a lot of these people are illegals too. Don't get it twisted. Everybody that showed up at that protest, you got some illegals that are here too. Because you could have an overstayed visa. Your visa expired, that makes you an illegal. Whether you sneak over here or have a work visa or even citizenship, that can be taken from you, stripped from you. It's going to show some more receipts, right? This is the type of stuff here that we got to deal with. No, we don't. Yeah, no, we don't. Look at this here. Hold on for a minute. Let's show you guys something else.
Today on the streets of Dearborn, I was pepper sprayed, maced by protesters because I asked them simply why they were harassing and touching another individual who had stated repeatedly that he was only on their side of the street to talk to them and have a dialogue. My phone was smashed. You can see the broken camera right there. They stole $50 out of my pocket and they stole my microphone receiver. I went and I told one of your officers, badge number 3668, that this had happened. He told me there was nothing that could be done about it unless I went to the station. I told him, I can't go to the station. I'm working. I'm doing my job. He said, I'm working too. I said, yeah, your job is to protect me and all of the people that are out here today.
Has two-tier policing made its way to the United States? It's something that we've seen in Britain.
Two-tier policing. For those that do not know, we have a Arab police officers. Remember, not that long ago, they had the Arabic writing on the patches until it got a lot of traction, and they had to remove the Arab stuff off of it. You have a lot of Muslim police officers in Dearborn Heights. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
For quite some time. Remember the rape gangs or the grooming gangs, as they were called, who weren't arrested because the police were afraid of being called racist, which is basically a two-tier system where some people can rape little girls and not get arrested, where others can post something uncomfortable on social media and get arrested. Well, it looks like maybe that kind of two-tier policing is starting to come to the United States. I mean, take a look at one journalist here, Cam Higbee, in Dearborn, Michigan, which is the area.
My main issue here is that you said I could go to the station later and file a report. He's in Black Block. You're never going to find
Muslim majority town.
See, this is what we call a bias. You think he gonna crack down on his own people? No, non-Muslims he will. We got to get in their ass once again. Get him off the force and get him out of here. We want you out. If you don't know how, we don't want a two-tier system. You are, if you wear the uniform, you're supposed to protect all, not some. I want him out. Get in that ass. You got to get in that ass.
You will never find him again. The detective will not find him. I promise you. I've been in this situation before. You're never going to find him. He's masked head to toe. You will never find him again. Yeah, that is shitty police work. It's lazy.
Look at this.
So you know that a crime happened, and you're going to let it slide because why? Then go arrest him. Okay, find me somebody who can. Okay, yeah, find the police report after he's gone, and you'll never find him again. This is lazy police work. You are a lazy police officer.
Bias, man.
Or you just don't want to get him. One of the two. Yeah, I'm going to be reporting that police officer to the I'll get his name and badge number real quick.
This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you allow 55% Muslims in the city, right? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit because I get very passionate about this stuff. This is what happened. You're gonna be dealing with bias. You think that many of y'all saw that? I showed you that clip with that Dearborn police officer. You seen it, the smirk in his face, right? Do you honestly believe that he's going to crack down on his own people? They are very clannish. They protect each other, even with him wearing the uniform. The police uniform and him in it don't mean ish, right? This is what have come to the shores of America. And this is the main reason as to why President Trump have implemented a full outright mass roundup that needs to happen. And I would say going to these institutions of these police officers, they should have never been allowed for some of them to wear the uniform. There was a protester, Christian protester, and hopefully I'm gonna pull that up, where you see him get sucker punched, right? This is the type of stuff that's happening in Dearborn right now. Dearborn is a hotbed. Guess what, Arabs? You got a lot of attention. Stuff like this going viral. It's a hotbed of hatred, bigotry, anti-American sentiments, right? They do not want to assimilate in America, and we are proving this. You know what I'm saying? This is what they want, right? This is what they do. Sharif law, this is what they want. To get back to America for what they think America did to them. So therefore, we're going to slowly take over America by liberal cities first, because we already know that the DNC is in bed with a lot of these Bedouins, right? They're in bed with them. And this is what you got. This is what you got. Am I saying every last Muslim is a hatred of America? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is you have the ones, right, that hate America and hate non-Muslims, which are Christians and other groups of people. They do not understand the Constitution of the United States. I bet you right now, if I would ask that damn Arab police officer, what's the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth amendment? Every American should know that. I bet you he couldn't answer it. I'm willing to put $100 on that bet. I bet you he couldn't answer it. I'm just showing you guys the clip, and I'm going to play it back again because you got to get in their ass, like I said before, because if you don't, this is what you got. Obviously, this man, he is an American.
Other individual who had stated repeatedly that he was only on their side of the street to talk to them and have a dialogue. My phone was smashed. You can see the broken camera right there. They stole $50 out of my pocket, and they stole my microphone receiver. I went and I told one of your officers, badge number 3668, that this had happened. He told me there was nothing that could be done about it unless I went to the station. I told him, I can't go to the station. I'm working. I'm doing my job. He said, I'm working too. I said, yeah, your job is to protect me and all of the people that are out here today.
Has two-tier policing made its way to the United States? It's something that we've seen in Britain for quite some time. Remember the rape gangs or the grooming gangs, as they were called, who weren't arrested because the police were afraid of being called racist, which is basically a two-tier system. Some people can rape little girls and not get arrested, where others can post something uncomfortable on social media and get arrested. Well, it looks like maybe that kind of two-tier police.
One moment. This is what Wandering Onion said, right? He said the same before what this person said. Wandering Onion says, don't let them settle. We have grooming gangs here. And with the grooming gangs, I'm going to post that up here, right? Here in the UK. This is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it's coming to the shores of America, right? That's why I love Trump so much. I voted for this man. And he knows he got to act now, especially after the National Guards. One, unfortunately, the young lady, 20 years old, did not make it. Her life was taken from her, from an Afghani. We got to round up the Afghanis, which he said he's going to do, right? Get them up on out of here as well. And then I love, once again, how Trump put a block on a lot of these African, Middle Eastern countries that we don't want anyway. Nobody wants them. And you can already see when they did this forced migration into Europe, look what's happening. Look what's happening. Look what's going on. Look what's happening. So let me go ahead and finish playing this. Hold on for a minute.
Is starting to come to the United States. I mean, take a look at one journalist here, Cam Higbee, in Dearborn, Michigan, which is the area.
My main issue here is that you said I can go into the station later and file a report. He's in black bloc. You're never going to find
Muslim
him
majority town.
You will never find him again. The detective will not find him. I promise you. I've been in this situation before. You're never going to find him. He's masked head to toe.
You know that.
Will never find him again.
You know that. He ain't going to find him.
Yeah, that is shitty police work. It's lazy.
He's a disgrace.
So you know that a crime happened, and you're going to let it slide because why?
From that uniform.
Then go arrest him.
Got to get in that ass. And the way to do
find me somebody who can.
Ice. It's got to be a hailstorm coming in there.
Okay, yeah. Find the police report after he's gone, and you'll never find him again. This is lazy police work. You are a lazy police officer, or you just don't want to get him. One of the two. Yeah, I'm going to be reporting that police officer to the. I'll get his name and badge number real quick. Before we leave, I'm going to get his name and badge number. Oh, I thought.
All right. So, yeah. So this is what you guys have saw. I had to play it again for those that didn't see this. Let's go ahead and bring this other one up. Can't play the whole thing.
It's officially time to lose some brain cells. Brain cells. I'm Tall, the Traveling Clad, your sweet Zionist prince. And I'm going to take you guys on a journey of discovering how retarded we can truly get with the pro-Palestine memes. Shall we jump into it? By the way, if you want to be a sweet Zionist prince or princess like me, you can get the shirt down below the description at thetravelingcloud.com. Let's just jump right into it. A person punches... Wait. A person punches Jake Lang and takes off running here in Dearborn.
This is one I was telling y'all about. Look at that. Y'all saw that? Look at that. They even hit like a little bitch. It didn't drop them. They hit like a little bitch. No strength in the punch whatsoever. Now, I don't know if that was a kid or a young man, but it didn't drop him. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Hold on for a minute. Got a little bit of issue here with the feed going on here. What's going on here? Let me restart it again. I don't know what's going on here. Let's restart it. Come on now. Let me see here. Am I still connected? Now, all of a sudden, this happened to be happening here, man. What the? It says here, waiting, page not responding. What the hell? Where's my connection at? Hold on for a minute. I done lost my connection here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on for a minute. What the hell? All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. How the hell you lose your connection? Boy, I tell you, man. Shitty service, I tell you. Shitty service. All right, let's do this again.
Cells, brain cells. I'm Tall, the Traveling Clad, your sweet Zionist prince, and I'm going to take you guys on a journey of discovering how retarded we can truly get with the pro-Palestine memes. Shall we jump into it? By the way, if you want to be a sweet Zionist prince or princess like me, you can get the shirt down below the description at thetravelingcloud.com.
Let's show it. Hold on for a minute.
A person punches... Wait. A person punches Jake Lang and takes off running here in Dearborn. Let's take a look.
Y'all see that?
Wait, I missed it.
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that.
It seems like a pretty weak punch, too.
It was weak.
I mean, like, I'm not
didn't drop him.
Fighting or anything, but
pussies.
Oh, it's a little Arab kid. Who would have thought?
Okay, it was a kid. Okay, I thought it was a kid. Because being a little man like that, yeah, he was a kid. Then he ran off. Police is scared. You see the cars right there. The SWAT cars are right there. SWAT cars are right there. Look at him. He ran off. Look at him. They're in a protected community over there.
I'm proud of the other people.
And this is the reason that I said you got to get in that ass. We can't allow their police officers to do police work, ladies and gentlemen, because they're clannish. They're going to cover for them, cape for them, protect them in their community. And we have to do the massive deportation. We got to bring the numbers down on the Muslim community and get they behind out of here. 55% is totally unacceptable. And this is what you got by allowing this to happen. This happened under who? Sleepy Joe Biden administration. Mass immigration into America. This is exactly what ended up happening. And this is one of the main reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why we got this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and play it some more.
I was punched harder by Capitol Police Officer lady, so it's okay.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty weak punch.
He's a kid.
Really hard right here.
He's a kid. The brother wanted to go after him, but he called him off. And the reason they mad at him because of a statement that he have.
Is he on the ground?
They're not going to do anything. The cops, the pussies over there, they're not going to do anything. Look at him. He was posing as a
I don't know. I didn't like the whole white power thing in the end.
Look.
I heard Jake Lang. I don't know who Jake Lang is. Should we take a look? I'm not even sure who this is. Is this a Nick Fuentes type? I don't know anything. I'm just asking. Jake Lang, politician, U.S. Senate. Why did I hear him say white power? You know, honestly, I don't really care. If I'm being completely honest, I don't really care. I just get me completely honest. I don't care. Should have got punched. That's not right. Oh, it continues. The saga's continuing. Oh, what the hell? Let's take a look here. Dearborn, Michigan. J6er Jake Lang surrounds by Muslims telling him they are chimping out. Muslims surrounded and chant Allahu Akbar. Absolute chaos. Let's take a look.
I believe they're going to cancel the 6:30 City Hall meeting because everybody's chimping the fuck out. They're chimping the fuck out. I don't have bananas. Chill out. I don't have bananas. This is not America. This is an insurgency.
Look at that.
They are taking over our country. They're taking over our country. They want us all dead.
Wow, what's happening right now? People are pushing.
And well, like I said, man, you got to have your CPL. Remember I said before? You can't come up in these spaces like that, man. I always carry, I'm a CPL holder myself. You know what I'm saying? Because all I know is might is right. That is the great equalizer. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like my life is being threatened, and I'm not being hostile, but I got aggression going towards me, and you got an angry mob, what is one to do? What is one to do? Now, he could have his pepper gel on him and just do a circular motion. That'll cut a lot of that out. You got to get it, and this is what I mean. You got to get in their ass. You know? Man can't fight when the man can't see. Man can't shout when he got painful pepper gel. I like the gel than the spray. This is talking about taking 7 down with 1 blow. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, like I said, this is America. We didn't have these type of problems like this until these what we call interlopers have come into our country. And look what's happening. Dearborn, ladies and gentlemen, is ground zero for this type of stuff. It's happening here. It's happening now. Christians better get together and start rising up before it's too late. Let's go and finish playing now. I'm going to play a little bit more, not the whole thing.
Wow. This is Dearborn, Michigan right now.
Yes, this is Dearborn, Michigan. Any racist is not welcome. No races here. If you can't be peaceful, but every race is welcome. If you're a racist, you're not welcome.
At all, we do not.
Every race is welcome. 1, 2, 3. Our president is a pedophile.
Yep, that's the reason why, right there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reason why, and he's going to bring an ice storm coming to Dearborn. Mark my words, it's going to happen. Once that new big, beautiful bill goes into effect, 2026, there's massive amounts of Americans signing up to be ICE agents. And when they flood the zone, I wonder, are they going to still have that, are they going to still have that discipline, still have that energy to, to push back against ICE? Because we need to have a mass deportation in the world ever seen, and we're going to see it 2026. That's why I'm not even worried about it, though, where we can get our streets back, get our neighborhoods back, get America back. America first, ladies and gentlemen. America first. Let's go ahead and let me see here. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want to.
I believe they're going to cancel the 6:30 City Hall meeting because.
All right, let me just go ahead and pause that here. I heard enough of that. I'm just showing you guys some stuff, Just showing you guys. Hold on for a minute. They call it anti-Islam protests clash with Muslims, Here it is right here.
Why are you lying to the camera?
Hey, fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie
You
Kirk.
ain't gonna be saying that when ICE come after your ass. Bet you that.
You guys are gonna need 10 more police officers. A lot more guys are gonna be coming over here.
Look at this. Look at these Arab. Look at these Arab police officers. Look at them. With beard, obviously.
You're mad because I have more melanin than you. Right? Look it out. Is it because I have melanin?
So we are live here in Dearborn, Michigan, and the anti-Muslim,
She's a
anti-Islam
Muslim.
protest.
Make no mistake about this. This is an Arab chick,
On the side, you have several
right?
protesters and Antifa mixed in there, but we will see how this evening goes. I mean, we've just got.
I've been around her so much I can tell, right? I'm just saying that she's Arab. I'm not saying that she's. I'm just saying you can tell, right? Look at it.
Groups of people everywhere around this 2-block radius. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
See a brother out there on the bullhorn. More blacks should be out here protesting too. Foundational blacks, where you at? Right? You should be over here. You should be out there. You should be out there protesting. They don't give a fuck about you.
Why? Because what you
They don't give a fuck about blacks over there. You think they do? In any other group, right? They don't give a fuck about you.
We are all under God. And why? Under God, yes. What do you mean? What do you mean? That nothing here needs to change, right? America is winning, right? So what are you protesting for? Protesting for Trump? What did he do
Obviously,
wrong?
a white liberal right here. Look at him.
How do you know?
He should be on the
How do you
same
know?
side, though.
How do you know?
These are
I've done my
stupid. He probably might be a paid so-called activist.
So the man that's right there has been so aggressive. Show your eyes. I mean, this is about 30 minutes following you getting maced. But I mean, we just approached 3 police officers here in Dearborn, Michigan, and basically their answer was, "You can go down to the station," but it didn't seem like they were really going to do.
That's what I'm saying, though, ladies and gentlemen. The police officers are so dumb. They don't know the Constitution. You can just tell. You have to go down to the police station and make a report. You know what I'm saying? They're biased, right? They're going to protect their own people. Make no mistakes about it. You don't see them coming in this room talking about anything. They just going to shout down, name call, but they can't defend what I'm talking about. Ain't that true? Ain't that right?
Too much about it here in the moment.
Yeah. They said I can go down to the station. The only problem is that the suspect is black blocked.
You know what? And she could pass, though. But, thing about she could wear 47 on her hat. She's obviously a Trump supporter, right? But she can pass. I don't know if she is Arab, but she looked like she could be. You know what I'm saying? But, she can pass, though, in Dearborn. But I bet you they don't like what that she's out here reporting these days. I don't know if a lot of them even understand what 47 really means. Probably not. She didn't wear the red Trump hat. I know that much.
So you'll never find him. You'll never find the suspect again. If I go to the police station, he's going to leave.
Yeah.
And you'll never be able to make an arrest. So I go, please go talk to him. At least detain him for a second while I file a report with you. So he can't leave his post. I called him 5 minutes later on a personal call in the parking lot. So he couldn't leave his post.
And on top of getting maced, I mean, they broke your phone. They took one of your sticks.
They broke my phone. They stole my mic. They stole my stick. Yeah.
So that's theft, and obviously it's
robbery.
And what led up to that moment?
He was chasing down, harassing, and touching a guy in an American First hat. Said he's not welcome there, and I asked him why he's not welcome on a public sidewalk. And then he got in my face and he was going to take my camera. He went chest to chest with me and touched me. I pushed him back and he maced me.
Yeah, that's why you got to have your mace, man. And you got to have your CPL license, man. I'm not going for the bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing about it. Blacks and whites should be lockstep with each other as well on this particular issue. Because if anybody that live in America, you should be out here too. You Asian Americans, you Hispanic Americans, and all the rest of you, if you're an American, you should be in lockstep with each other. And many of you are Christian. This is what I don't understand. Why is it only that we have majority of the whites out here and we don't have enough blacks? There's a few. But this is what I'm saying. You big and bad in the hood, but when it comes down to it, you don't want to smoke at all. So therefore, I got to call you out too. Big and bad in the hood, but you won't come out here for something like this. And they got to hold the fort. This is America. This ain't their country. They coming over here as guests and visas, work visas and so forth, H-1Bs and all the rest of them. That's why I'm glad that Trump stopped all that. We only want people in America, right, that builds value, that we can get something from them, right? We don't need trash and peasants coming over here shitting on America. We just don't need it. We don't need this, though. And you silent ninja viewers, I'm glad that you're showing up, true enough, but I want you guys to really, really pay attention in regards to what is going on over here in America, man. I'm going to play a little bit more. I can't play the whole thing, but I just want you guys to hear this. Love you guys.
You're a local here. What do you think the police enforcement of law is here?
Well, the Arabic police will not do nothing against the Arabs. If they're Americans, they're going to come against you. As far as doing anything, this man right here assaulted them. All they're going to do is talk to him, but ain't doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
He should be arrested for assault. He should be taken away. He's agitating. He's starting trouble in this itself. He has no right.
I mean, the incident occurred right in front of him, and yet.
I want you guys, this is very serious, man. We have Arab police officers. Just think about that. Let that sit in a little bit, sink in. Let that sink in a little bit. Arab police officers, right? The Loop says we need what is it? We need ICL here in the UK. I know you meant to say ICE. Yeah, y'all do need ICE over here, man. You really do, man. Yep, you really do, man. And like I said, for people in the UK, you know, my heart goes out to you guys, man. They sold y'all the bullshit they sold y'all on this bullshit and had y'all that confiscated y'all guns. You know, and like I said, the guns is a great equalizer for this type of shit, right? Let's see here. Shunki says, send them all back to the wonderful war-torn third world they come from and see if they can protest, etc. Right? I know what you meant, and you're absolutely correct. I've been saying that earlier, right? Shunki said that, right? And this is what has to happen, right? We have to get these people out of here. And these corrupt, crooked ass police officers, you're sworn Arab, you're sworn to wear that uniform, right? You must uphold the Constitution and protect everyone, not your own group of people. He ain't lying, though, because they always have been very clannish. That's why I tell you guys, I worked for an Arab company before. It was a long time ago. It was the worst thing ever. Do not do it because they're going to treat you indifferent. There's a lot of nepotism, favoritism, and people know that live around the community know what I'm talking about. They are some of the they are the worst when it comes down to doing business with. They always want to do some type of slick, corrupt, because they come from a lot of them come from these war-torn ass countries that's corrupt from the flow up. Make me want to throw up, right? This is the type of stuff here that's happening in America. Way that looked, you thought you were over there in the Middle East, right? 55% Muslims should not be the case in Dearborn at all. It should not have gotten that high. This was a plan by the DNC, the Muslim Brotherhood, and look what we have. And Trump, we got to cut it off at the kneecaps now. And we want these Arab police officers out of Dearborn. They are disgraced. They should not be wearing the uniform. They don't protect us, they protect them. You know what I'm saying? They protect them. They don't rock with us. And Dearborn Heights is another city of Dearborn. You got an Arab mayor over here, over there. Both of these cities have Arab mayors. And you got a whole street. They named the street after a known terrorist. Look at this. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And you have to get involved. I got people in the UK. I got more. I'm going to give a shout out to the people in the UK. You guys have been the most interactive since I've been playing this, these videos and showing the receipts, man, and things like that. And I support you guys. I support your protests. You guys have been going through what we are going through now. And you guys have been showing more participation than the people that live here in America. They act as if because it ain't happening in Dearborn, like they're okay. We've seen what's happening over here in Minnesota, over there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Right? The Loop says the only country doing anything about it is America and Poland, because they know the danger of mass immigration. They sure do. You saw the Loop. You saw that video. I saw it on the news where it looked like they cut. Poland has that wall up, right? They cut the metal wall, and they snuck in there. And then before you know it, the Border Patrol in Poland pulled up on them and arrested them and sent them right back over that damn wall again. You know what I'm saying? Through the part where they cut through. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, America is doing something about it, but we have enemies of America too. I know you know this, Luke. You have enemies in the DNC and enemy liberals, right? That cape for a lot of these foreigners. They treat them like family, right? They don't want them deported. It ain't about what they don't want, but this is what they're doing. We get a little pushback, but Trump have already won in the Supreme Court not that long ago, where he's allowed to send in the National Guards. We have an old law, which is the Alien Act of 1798, and that's what Trump had to embark in order to, or enact in regards to getting rid of these illegals. Now he can send in the I'm talking about the military. The military, if need to be, will go to Dearborn. What they have created here today, they have got a shitstorm on the way. Because we have to take our country back. America first. You know? It is the Muslims that drew first blood. It is the Muslims that refuse to assimilate to America. It's the Muslims that's out here doing the heinous crimes and all this other shit, right? Just look at the UK. You got those precious young girls, and look what's happening. Grabbing them up, raping them, Sharia law, all this other bullshit to justify, right? Then we got police officers, Arab police officers that won't even do their damn fucking job, right? They're only there to protect their own people. And that mayor need to have his ass stripped from being the mayor. I'm talking about Abdullah Hamoud. He need his ass to be stripped from the mayor seat, right? Because this is what they do, man. Nepotism, favoritism for their own people. Arabs have always been this way. They've always been this way. You are non-Arab, try marrying one of them and see what happens. You don't even care if if you're a Muslim that is non-Arab, see how well they treat you. You think they're gonna allow you to marry their daughter? Absolutely not. Right? And that's just another thing. You guys that have been around them know what I'm talking about, right? The Loop says it's only a problem until something happens, like when someone is killed. They put speed cameras up, but you need to realize the danger before something happens. And Donald Trump know it. Yeah, he does. I'm very, very comfortable and confident that Trump is going to get it done, especially when the big, beautiful bill kicks in, because we're going to have the funding, and the military is going to be called in too for this insurrection, because Trump still have a few other aces under his sleeve, because if he ever calls the Insurrection Act, these people are going to be hit, as well as people in our own that's own American citizens are going to be hit as well too. Right? Trump is holding all the cards, as you know, the loop. He has all the leverage. He's holding all the cards. These people have definitely signed their death warrants, as far as I'm concerned, by being, let's say, sent out of the country. We're talking about mass deportation. We are all getting them out of here too. And they're going to go into Minneapolis and get a lot of these Somali rejects up on out of here, starting at the top. Well, Ilhan Umar, their protection status, which is the temporary immigration protection, right, has been removed. Trump blocked it, banned it. They don't have that no more, which means that Trump can send in the ICE agents to round up these Somalis as well. They're in the same boat. Good thing about, and shout out to Minneapolis people, right? Minneapolians, right? You guys made sure not to have a Somali mayor, right? I'm talking about that dude that was running. You got a head looking like a light bulb, looking like a Somali ET. If it's a such thing as a damn ET, right? That would be that guy Omar Fatah, right? The guy that ran for mayor over there in Minneapolis, right? Yep, looking like an ET. I'm glad that his ass didn't become mayor at all. Yep, I'm glad that he didn't become mayor, right? And one thing about it is what they're doing in Dearborn, they're doing in Minneapolis, right? This is what they're doing. You got every type of criminal activity that's going over there in Minneapolis as well. They got these scams going on, rob the taxpayer people, sending money back over there. What's that? El Shabaab and so forth, going right back to Somalia. Somalia is a war-torn ass nation, right? It has no government. People, warlords, and criminals are controlling that region. You know? The loop says the property is the left want to live in hell, but they have plenty of time for that. This is good versus evil. Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. Nothing more, nothing less. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put that up as well. This is exactly what it is. This is exactly what it is. You know? And like you guys, anybody that understand what we're going through in America is people in the UK. You guys have dealt with this. You guys are further along than we are. You know what I'm saying? It's a damn shame that Nigel Farage. How do you feel about hey Luke? Let me ask you a question, man. How do you feel about Nigel Farage? Right? Nigel Farage. What is your take on him? Yeah. Because y'all got Starmer over there. Oh my goodness, man. Woo, man. You could tell he's a deep state puppet. I mean, look at Germany, man. Look at France, man. Man, I'm telling you, Europe is falling, man. It's bad, man. Bad. Look what's going on over there in those countries, man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want you guys to see some of this. You know, let me see here. What else I can show you. All right. Trump orders diplomats to expose Starmer. Starmer been exposed, man. That's the thing about it. They've been exposed. Trump just sparked a Somali uprising in Minnesota. Yeah. It don't matter about the uprising in Minnesota. Y'all don't have the protection status no more. So that means that y'all are illegals over here now. Y'all came over here under refugee status. And many of them have citizenship. But it does not mean, right? Because look at the Somalis, right? I'm gonna play a little bit of this. Hold on.
Tonight, the legal status of
hold on for a minute, guys. She's gonna talk about their legal status being poor. You know, we got a lot of Somali gangs in Minneapolis. right? They are vandalizing, terrorizing non-Somali citizens in Minneapolis, right? These are the things that, and look how slick and loose mouth and slick mouth Ilhan Umar been talking, right? She came over here illegal and married her brother in order for her to stay in the country. So by rights, she should not be congressperson, right? Because now that Trump have removed the TIP, meaning temporary immigration protection from the Somalis, where they're going to get their asses rounded up and sent back to where? Somalia. So therefore they can deal with their country, because they should be over there instead of telling us how we should run America. We know what they want to do. If you allow these people to continue, what happened in Somalia is going to happen over here on the shores of America. And I'm just saying, my channel should be rocking. But I know what YouTube and all of them, they are part of the DNC. So what they do is that they shadow ban me down, right? They don't want the truth to come out. Americans should be flooding this channel. You should be telling your friends and other persons to tune in on what this brother have to say, right? Because this is what I'm saying is absolutely the truth. I said I was going to talk about Ilhan Umar. I'm not sympathetic at all. As far as I'm concerned, the hatred that she's been spitting out of her nasty, filthy mouth. You know what I'm saying? A country that she came over here. I still say she came over here illegal. You know why? Because she had to marry her brother. You know what I'm saying? She married her brother in order to come over here. Look at Somalia. Look at America. Look at Minneapolis, right? Look at it. Does Somalia look like a place that you want to have a vacation in? And like you can go over here and go to the travel agency and say, yeah, I want to go to Somalia. They got a stable economy. They got a stable government. Oh, they don't have no crime. I'll be lying to you. It would never happen. It's on the advisory list for travel. Do not travel in a lot of these Middle Eastern countries. You can't go to Lebanon right now. Are you kidding me? The Loop says, Nigel, well, what's the point of cleaning the cutlery when the whole kitchen needs to be cleaned out? Good point. We need a mass change here. We don't need the same old. Okay. I didn't know a lot about him, but I take your word for it. You're in the UK. You know what's going on, right? You know, I just can't believe how Americans are very rocked to sleep on this type of stuff, man. Mostly from the left. A lot of the MAGA get it. They get it. They understand. Like the one guy y'all saw, he was outrageous. I mean, upset as he should be, because this is America, man. We don't call it the land of the free and the home of the brave for nothing. This is something that we as Americans, you know what I'm saying, that have built America for ourselves, civilized the whole world, you know, the Western world has. It's true. America is a great country, and we can't allow it to be taken down or taken over within. These are the enemies of America within. And when you got the Democratic Party leading the charge, blocking them, fighting for them, because they know that the Democrats are losing their voter base. They don't have a voter base. Let me go ahead and play this a little bit more here. Can't play the whole thing, as you guys already know. Okay, let me see here. We got something here again. Hold on for a minute. Let me go ahead and restart this thing again. Yep. Hold on for a minute. Yep. Temporary protection status for the Somalis have been removed. It has been removed, ladies and gentlemen. Why this thing restarts, man? Something with the internet thing here again. Boy. Come on now. Says here, wait. Hold on for a minute. I'm going to try to get this video to start back up. But in the meantime, show must go on. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Trump just sparked a Somali uprising in Minnesota, right? After Trump pulled their protection status. So Trump is doing this. He's pushing them in the direction that he wants them. He's pushing them purposely. So what they're going to do is get mad and upset. And if they start to do the riots, it's just going to make it even easier for Trump and the administration, the MAGA administration. Because you already know ICE agents are on their way over there to Minnesota. I call it mini Somali. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Instead of Minnesota, because we have a large amount of them over here. If this don't, you know what I'm gonna have to do, ladies and gentlemen? Let me go ahead and exit out that page. Let's go ahead and stop that page here. All right, and then let's go ahead and restart it again. All right, see what happens. Ain't no might. He's going to do it. Ain't no might. He's already have done it. Well, you shouldn't have been talking shit. Shouldn't have been talking shit. Send them all back. Send them all back. Shouldn't be talking shit. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we know what they want. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on. All right. The loop says, it's what's happening when you let the whole world into a country. You're absolutely correct, though, the loop. You're absolutely correct. You get the whole world problems unchecked. Mass immigration is never going to end well. Man, you have taken the words right out of my mouth, man. I'm going to post that right there where it deserves. You know, because if anybody understands mass immigration, UK understand it. Americans understand it. Poland understand it. Japan understand it. One thing about the Japanese, shout out to Japan, you know, You remember the loop when they tried to send the Africans over there and Indians over there? That didn't fan out too well, did it? It did not. It did not. Because anybody, half of a brain, understand when you do mass immigration, you're going to have problems. You lose your culture. You lose your identity. They start bringing in, their own. And this problem is coming from the loop, and you would agree. This problem because of the Muslims. They do not believe in assimilating at all. Just look at their religion. They don't. It's either them or nothing at all. Christian nations don't have this problem, right? The ones that have this problem, they're on the top of the list, right? They're the ones that have this problem. I'm gonna post this up here, man. You have something, I'm just let that for people to be able to read and see, And like I said, with YouTube, they shadow ban me all the time. They'll keep my numbers down really low. When my numbers used to be up there, though, they said, shit, this guy gaining traction. You know what I'm saying? I've been gaining a lot of traction, man. You mean to tell me I run with the big dogs on this channel, and look what they've been doing to me. They've been kneecapping me, man, the whole time. Every time I go live, man, they've been kneecapping me, man. You know what I'm saying? When I talk about stuff of importance, and I want you guys to remember this, because Trump is going to be the one that's going to solve this problem before the midterms. This is going to go on his legacy of how he got America back. And there's many other things with Trump too. And I agree with you, Luke. I know y'all wish y'all had a President Trump or a Prime Minister Trump in the UK, because your government, man, is all part of the deep state over there. With you know what I'm saying? We already know it. It's pretty evident and obvious, man. Which is really sad though, And it's sad over here. You would think that what's going on against America, you should have a lot more people on board. But the lack of participation and so forth. Look at this. Right? Yeah, man. It's something else, man. But like I said, you still got to push this message out, man. We still got to get it out, Yeah. Let me see here. What else I'm gonna put in here? Somali. Yeah, Somali and Minnesota. Let me do this here. All right, here it is. Okay.
Strong criticism as families fear what comes next. The shift could say the announcement arrived without warning and has already created uncertainty. The policy decision carries major human impact across Minnesota.
I'm gonna play this.
What is up, Berserker Patron?
Hold on for a minute.
President Trump announced the immediate end of temporary protected status for Somalis living in Minnesota, and the decision targets the state that holds the largest Somali community in the United States. The administration says the change responds to concerns about program misuse, but the move has created intense national discussion. Civil rights groups reacted quickly with strong criticism as families fear what comes next. The shift could place long-term residents at risk of deportation and raises serious questions about future immigration plans. Local leaders say the announcement arrived without warning and has already created uncertainty. The policy decision.
Yeah, Trump is doing the thing, man. I don't care how much they want to try to dress that up, Let's look at it here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Today, we're talking about a major development in U.S. immigration policy. TND President Donald Trump has announced that he is ending temporary protected status, or TPS, for Somali nationals living in Minnesota. This move has sparked debate and raised important legal questions. Trump shared his announcement on his social media, claiming that Somali gangs were terrorizing Minnesota and alleging billions of dollars in fraudulent activity. He called Minnesota a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity and said Somali migrants should be sent back to where they came from. Now let's break down what this really means. Temporary protected status is a program created in 1990 to protect people from deportation when their home countries are facing conflict, natural disasters, or other dangerous conditions. TPS is granted in 18-month increments by the Secretary of Homeland Security. Currently, only about 705 Somali nationals hold TPS in the U.S., which is a very small number compared to Minnesota's larger Somali community. Most Somali Minnesotans are U.S. citizens or permanent residents, so they aren't affected by this announcement. Legally, ending TPS for a specific group in one state is complicated. Experts say it requires a formal review and a 60-day notice in the Federal Register. As of now, TPS for Somali nationals remains valid through March 2026. That means Trump's statement is largely symbolic, but it could create stress and uncertainty for the small group of people it affects. Minnesota leaders have pushed back. Attorney General Keith Ellison called it unlawful and discriminatory, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar pointed out that most Somalis in the U.S. are citizens. Civil rights groups warn the move could increase Islamophobia and put families at risk. This announcement is also part of a broader hardline immigration agenda.
Yeah. So therefore, you guys get the other side of what's going on. And they're trying to paint Trump. They've been trying to paint Trump as some type of hater, villain of people that come in this country. If you go to Minneapolis, man, you got a large amount of them. What is it, like 30-some-odd% of Somalis over there in Minneapolis? You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that the country where they come from are crime and violence. They've been stealing the money with these fraudulent ass ripping off Medicare and talking about, oh yeah, we're raising money for autism and everything like that. These slick programs where they've been sending money back to back over there to Somalia. You know what I mean? Supporting terrorism over there. This is a problem though, and I'm not going to hold it up. I'm not going to play with it today. Just like we talked about Dearborn earlier. These are hotbeds, that must be snuffed out. You got to use the fire extinguisher, and that's where ice come in. Ice is going to melt and dissolve that fire that's over there in these hotbeds of America. You start with Dearborn as well as with Minneapolis, and Trump has enough resources that he can fight on two fronts in two different cities, right? So therefore, we got to be able to take care of this right now before it starts to escalate to be a big problem. And he has already had the Alien Enemy Act of 1798 on his side. He's already still got, Trump has a lot of options here. He has a lot of leverage. He has so much leverage right now in regards to this thing. He hasn't even enacted the Insurgency Act. I believe he's waiting for that one, waiting for the deep state and their puppets with these phony protests and all this stuff. And Antifa, I think he's waiting on them to make the next move so he can checkmate them on that too. Everything that Trump been doing, he's been checkmating the DNC deep state. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But let's see what's going on here. Let me see here. Let me see what I'm going to show here. Let's see here. Yeah, because this is like a shit show going on. Let me see here. Now, you also got a little bit of a civil war that's going on with the Somalis. There's two types of tribes that do not like each other. And that's going on too, There's another particular group. I'm not saying that every last Somali is over here doing what they ain't supposed to be doing. But like I said, though, right now, we got some of the ringleaders, which is Ilhan Umar. She definitely needs to go. Because everything she's been talking about, in fact, let me probably show this. I'm going to show you guys better.
Usman Kamara is the 77th person charged in the massive $300 million Feeding Our Future fraud case.
Mr. Kamara, do you have any comment?
No, sir.
America, Minnesota just hit the corruption trifecta that perfectly shows why this state has become a national embarrassment. The 77th person just got charged in the massive Feeding Our Future fraud scheme that stole over crying about Trump's immigration decision. They've allowed their state to become a playground for and know all the details about the state becoming systematic exploitation of federal programs that have turned Minnesota into a magnet for international criminals. The pattern here is clear. Minnesota's weak oversight, progressive policies, and lack of accountability have created an environment where criminals feel comfortable running massive fraud operations with little fear of consequences. Let's start with the latest arrest in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Usman Kamara, the 45-year-old owner of Kay's Grocery and Deli in North Minneapolis, just became the 77th person charged in this massive fraud scheme. The fact that we're now at 77 defendants shows the massive scope of this criminal enterprise. This isn't just a few bad actors. This is a systematic fraud operation that infiltrated Minnesota's child nutrition programs.
45-year-old Usman Kamara owns Kay's Dollar Grocery and Deli, also known as Kay's African Market, on Broadway in North Minneapolis.
According to the indictment, he claimed to serve more than 300,000 meals to children out of a small grocery store during the pandemic. What makes this even more outrageous, the USDA has already disqualified Usman from participating in SNAP 10 years ago because of suspected fraud. Yet somehow he was allowed to participate in child nutrition programs where he allegedly stole about $1 million. Federal prosecutors say he claimed to serve breakfast and lunch to 1,000 children each day, 7 days a week, out of a small convenience store.
Now, since he allegedly purchased the building with fraud money, the indictment says it's subject to forfeiture, so the feds can recoup some of the funds.
He also allegedly paid 87 grand in bribes to the
They already own these people, man. The 77th person they captured for this illegal operation that they were doing. And you know they were just laundering the money and sending it back to Somalia. This is what we got with mass immigration, right? This is what we have when we bring in these people, right? Give them a better way of life. Not only that they get a better way of life, but they figure out slick ways and criminal ways to get the money, which doesn't help the people that they claim that they serve. This is a major, major issue here. This is what's been going on. Why you think, what is the president supposed to do? Plead with them to say, hey, stop that, slap on the wrist, don't do that again? You know that doesn't work. You have to be a lot more strict. And as I say, you have to get in their ass. And this is the best way to get in their ass when you have what we call ICE. ICE man cometh, right? And this is exactly what it is. Let's take a look at now that you guys are
stunning
corruption
report from the City Journal showing a massive fraud scheme in Minnesota. You have to hear about this. It involves false autism claims, the Somali community, and connections to a terror group. Let's explain over at The Wall. Now, it all revolves around autism and HSS program. That is Minnesota's Medicaid Housing Stabilization Services. Now, this was created to help seniors, addicts, and others find housing. But the criteria to enter this program was incredibly loose and therefore easy to take advantage of. It's led to fraud and costs absolutely exploding. Just 5 years ago, in 2020, costs for this program were $2.6 million. 4 years later, by 2024, costs had been over $100 million, 104. Through the first 6 months of this year, costs are at 61 million, meaning if you double that over the entirety of the year, you're looking at $122 million. In 5 years, from 2 million to 122 million. Now, why? 6 people are accused of defrauding HSS, and they're members of the Somali community. But this just gets worse. If we take a look at Minnesota's federally funded autism program. Now, several people, and this is an example, a woman in the Somali community are co-conspirators, and they're accused of recruiting kids for autism therapy. They brought in families, had them convinced to get their kids diagnosed as autistic. In fact, these families ultimately ended up having various social services bid for their children, competing with the number size of check that they would get. It didn't matter if the kids had autism. And what happened? Autism claims to Medicaid surged. In 2018, $3 million. By 2023, listen here, from $3 million to $400 million. Autism providers jumped from 41 to 328 in 5 years. Now, City Journal reports that the Somali fraud rings send a lot of money back to Somalia. 40% of households in Somalia get remittances from abroad. That totals $1.7 billion. That is more than the entire budget of the Somali government. Money being sent abroad, from abroad, back to Somalia. Where is that money going? Take a look at this. Most alarmingly, a lot of that money is funneled through money traders, and in the end, ends up in the hands of al-Qaeda-linked Islamic terror group Al-Shabaab. So to bring this full circle, the Minnesota taxpayers are funneling money through fraudulent autism claims back to Somalia, where that money lands in the accounts of Al-Shabaab.
I'm calling on Governor Tim Walz to resign as governor. Who am I? I'm a taxpayer. And if you're a taxpayer here in Minnesota, I hope you will join me in asking Governor Tim Walz to resign. Why? Because he has absolutely failed this state on almost every single level. We had a report come out from the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce that between 2019 and 2024, which is the last year data was available, Minnesota is failing on every single economic measure. Now, you may argue, well, that's something that needs to be taken care of at the ballot box, and I would agree with you, but let's add more to this. He's also failed his own party. He told the Democrat Party and those that want to see gun reform take place here in Minnesota, which I disagree with, needless to say, in the wake of the Catholic school shooting, he said he was going to hold a special session and take a vote on banning assault weapons, scary-looking guns, according to Democrats, and high-capacity magazines. And he failed to do so. He's failed his own party. But let's get to the real reason why Governor Tim Walz needs to resign, and he needs to do it today. It's the fraud. We already have the documented fraud. $2 to $6 billion has gone under Governor Tim Walz's watch, under programs created by his party while he was in office. And now we have multiple source allegations that taxpayer dollars went through autism centers fraudulently and then were sent overseas to fund terrorist organizations. Here in Minnesota, we had a multi-billion-dollar surplus a few years ago. We got back a tiny fraction of that as taxpayers. That money was more than what the state should have taken away from us, and they didn't give it back to the taxpayer. That money goes to these different social service programs that have now been discovered to be fraudulent. And that money, we now know, according to the reporting by the City Journal, was sent overseas to fund one of the worst terrorist organizations, Al-Shabaab. I talked with a counterterrorism expert friend of mine today who says that it's shocking, but not surprising. Enough is enough. I hope you'll join me.
I mean, I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and like deport me, but I don't even know like why that's such a scary threat. Like, I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. Like, I can go live wherever I want.
Crystal, we'll let you start this one off. You can go with it wherever you want to go. Man, Ilhan Omar is she's a piece of work, to say the least.
That's why you don't let.
All right, guys, hold on for a minute. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So there it is that you have it. Don't forget about Tampon Tim, right? He's still going to be called Tampon Tim Walz, right? The governor of Minnesota, right? You know, this happened under his watch. You know, we're talking about millions of dollars that have been basically embezzled. Basically, you know, defrauding these supposed to be nonprofit charity organizations, you know what I'm saying, for charity, you know, for charity organizations. And look what ended up happening, right? Look what ended up happening. Sending the money back, you know, to a terrorist group back in Somalia. It's really, really sad where America, I mean, once again, I hate to say it, man. It's like when you show goodwill to people sometimes, they take advantage of your goodwill. When she was that little 17-year-old girl that escaped Somalia to come into America, she became a congresswoman. And you hear Ilhan Omar, every time she speaks against America on every level, right? You notice that she did not have this type of, she's always been doing this, even with, I believe, what is it, Sleepy Joe Biden, right? I mean, it's really, really sad though, ladies and gentlemen. She created this situation. Because had she would have done, oh yeah, and don't forget, oh yeah, I got to get on Taliba Rashid too. That's another person. She's a Congress person over here in Dearborn. Palestinian background. Don't forget about her, right? Forgot about her. The Loop says you should do a live chat with people that can call in. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, I'm gonna do one better. I would do one better. I'm gonna throw the invitational guest. I'm gonna drop the link right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do one of those eventually, but I dropped the link down. And the Loop, you're more welcome to come up on the channel, say what you got to say. All you gotta do is click the link, and then I'll put you up here on stage with myself, and we'll talk about it, man. You're more welcome, though. You know, there's the invitation. A lot of times I drop the links before. I usually don't get too many people answer it, but I just dropped the link right now. So all they got to do is click that link, come up here, and we can have a conversation. You know, I have had guests on my show before, but yeah, that's cool. So we could talk about this. The Loop, you have a lot to say, man. You're in the UK, man. And, you know, and I would love to hear from you, man. Hear that British accent of yours, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you want, go ahead and click that link, man, and come up here, man, and let's have a conversation about this stuff. And that's for anybody else too, you know. I dropped the link down. So, you know, do you guys think that this is out of hand and out of line for what they're doing over in Dearborn, Somalia? These are both Muslims, right? These are both that's supposed to have come to America for a better life, right? But they have different type of ideas what they consider better life. This is about an invasion and a takeover. That's what they have in mind. This is not about assimilating into America, learning the laws over here in America. It's actually the opposite, and we're seeing that. So I got the link down in here, you know, but you know what I'm saying, call in. This will be my best that I can do for a call in until I get some type of telephone number device, which is going to be coming. I'm glad you brought that up to me, Luke, because I need to have something like that. That way people can call in on their cell phone, call or whatever, call in, and we can discuss and talk about these particular issues. I became involved, you know, with what I've seen, what was going on in America. And it's a beautiful thing that we do have a president, which is Donald J. Trump. He's been doing great pushback. The Democrats have been losing on every level. Trump has been kicking their behind in the Supreme Court. That's why when they used to come in my room, man, they used to come in here, and really it was a lot of bots. It wasn't like real organic people. You know what I'm saying? I clicked the link. Nothing's letting me on. Huh. All right. Let me try this again. All right. Invite a guest. All right. Let's see here. Guests can stream this to their own destination. Copy. All right, I'm gonna try to put this down here again. You say nothing's happened. Is the link active when you click it, or nothing happens? Is the link the loop? Is it active or nothing happens? Because it's supposed to allow you up here, though. You know. Huh. Send this link to guests who want to share. Guest studio. Huh. I'm not for sure as to what's happening there. All right. Let me see here. Invite a guest. All right. Let's see here. Look like, let me see, a device not connected. They would need to connect their microphone before you can add them. Okay, look like a person tried to come up here. You need to hook up your microphone. That's what I'm getting. It says device not connected. Please make sure that your microphone is connected. You know, if you got a mobile phone, then you got to worry about it. Please make sure your mic is connected. I don't have any problems having anybody to come up that want to talk about these issues. But we have to talk about these particular issues, not other issues, but these particular issues. Those are my rules. Try it again. Let me see here. Says device is not connected. So try that again. But those are the links there. If you want to come up here, you want to let your voice be heard, you want to talk about the issues. Do you think that we're trying to be overran by these interlopers? Do you think that that's what's going on or not? These interlopers, right? Do you think that's what it is? Try it again. Try to come back. Try it again. Make sure that your mic is connected though, because that was what I was getting that message. How do you turn your microphone on? Let me ask you this, Loop. Are you on a computer or are you on your cell phone? Let's start with that first, and then I can. Yeah, I know there's a little bit of a lag. But are you on a computer or a mobile device or a computer? On a phone. Okay. So when you click and come in there, down below there's like a microphone icon and a video icon. Make sure that the microphone is not in red with the slash in the middle. You want to click it to make sure the mic is turned on. Try that and see if that helps. Then I can bring you up. Yeah, see if that works. Yeah, try that and see. Just make sure that is turned on down below where it says the microphone icon. I think that's what the problem is. You can have the camera off for your protection. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you ain't got to have a camera on in order to talk to me. But yeah, just try that with the microphone, see if that works. And once I see you enter into the room, then I go and put you up on stage Well, we can talk about this. All right, just waiting on the loop to come up here, ladies and gentlemen, so we can have a conversation about the topic today. You know, I already talked about Dearborn and what's going on over there with the protest. You know, how the guys have been assaulted. And then not only that, in the protest, Christian protests, we talked about Minneapolis as well with the Somalis. You see the percentage of them and then the money that has been embezzled out. I got that up there too. So, right, it says households in Somalia are getting, what is it? Trying to read what he says here. Hold on for a minute.
Of households in Somalia get remittances from
40% of them, and sent by the Somali. Right, he's breaking it down right here. I'm just showing this though. This is a lot of money that's going on over here. Let me play this again.
From abroad. That totals $1.7 billion. That is more than the entire budget of the Somali government. Money being sent abroad, from abroad, back to Somalia. Where is that money going? Take a look at this. Most alarmingly, a lot of that money is funneled through money traders, and in the end, ends up in the hands of al-Qaeda-linked Islamic terror group Al-Shabaab.
You hear this, ladies and gentlemen? You see what's going on here? We're watching the money flow. Just follow the money. And with these particular groups of people, it always go back to some type of terrorist organization. That's a lot of money to be sent over there to a terrorist group, right? No wonder President Trump have to do what he have to do. Still waiting on you, the loop. And anyone else that want to come in on here and talk about this. I can have more than just one other person. I believe I can have up to 4 people. So you're more welcome to come up on the show, you know, so we can talk about this. And I said I'm going to start having more group participation. There's a link down below. Go ahead and click it. Come up here on the stage. Talk about it. You don't have to have your camera on, but we can talk about it. This is the money. This is the flow here. Look at this. All going back to Al-Shabaab, you know. This is where all this stuff is actually going towards, you know. This is exactly what's happening here. Look at this. All right, waiting on the loop. Waiting on the loop. All right. Let me see here. All right. Okay. I'm not for sure what's happening. All I know is I just usually drop the link down and people come up. I don't know, you know, I don't know in regards to that, why it's not allowing you to. You came up before once though, the loop. You actually showed up here, but it says that your device wasn't connected. So you just want to make sure that the microphone is turned on. I'm going to drop the link again for people here. I want to invite a guest in so we can talk about all the stuff that are going on here. And let's just make this clear. Under the First Amendment rights, for those that may not know the first Constitution, besides freedom of speech, there's also such thing called freedom of religion, freedom of the press, right? To allow assembly, to protest in a peaceful manner. All this is under the Constitution, right? So therefore, these people can line up in the streets, and have a peaceful protest. You're allowed to protest your government, whatever that's going on. You have that right here in America as a citizen. But what you don't have the right to do, you do not have the right to yell out like any type of threatening, saying that I'm going to blow up this and that, death to America, death. You cannot do that. Since they did that on the holidays, they did that around Thanksgiving, when everybody was out there enjoying their turkey, they were enjoying their family. They're over here lined up in the streets talking about death to America, death to Israel. You cannot do that under the Constitution. And this is one of the reasons when you mess with the beehive, guess what? You're going to get the bees and they're going to sting you. Remember, you are outnumbered here in America. This is not the Middle East. You have to abide by and play with the rules. Trump is taking away protections of status and legal status anyway. He can do that. When you give him a excuse to do what you guys did, you're going to get what comes to you. This is what your communities brought on to the people. You guys have done this, right? You guys have done this. Wasn't President Trump that did this. You guys have done it. I'm talking about these Islamic communities that speak in hatred. These people have a right to protest anywhere. And that's what they were doing. Won't allow it. Let me see here. All right, yeah, it won't allow me to add you on here though for some reason. The loop. It won't allow me to because it says that your microphone is still not hooked up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It says here, okay, loop, authenticate with YouTube. Yeah, make sure that you're, with YouTube, something going on where it's not allowing you to come in on the chat. Says authenticate. So you may have to verify your account. Try that and see, and then, come back on here and things, But yeah, but other than that, everyone else, you got the opportunity to come up here and talk to me, man. Nobody knows who you are. You don't have to have your camera on, right? Because this is about saving America. And Trump is doing so, with the great pushback against these interlopers, that come over here into our country, These are guests in our country. You are not entitled. They've been doing all type of stuff over there in Minneapolis, man. Look at where the money has been going. Let's go on and play this again. Let's get it. Here it is.
So to bring this full circle, the Minnesota taxpayers are funneling money through fraudulent autism claims back to Somalia, where that money lands in the accounts of Al-Shabaab.
All right, let's stop that right there. Hold on for a minute. Let's stop that right there, ladies and gentlemen. He just gave you the money flow, you know, where the money has been extracted pretty much out of from Minneapolis citizens, right? You know, from these fraudulent ass what we call autism type of businesses, right? This is what they've been doing. You have a business that claims that you're reaching your hands out to, you know, people with autism or whatever the case may be, and then you steal money. It's called a front. Neither of these people that were in need that the Somalis helped, they did not at all. We have over 77 of them with some type of criminal activity that all been arrested, waiting their trials in court, you know what I'm saying, for frauding. It's what they do. This is exactly what they do, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and look at it some more here. Hold on for a minute. Let me push this forward a little bit. All right, that's just a panel there. I'm familiar with their channel. I follow The Righteous Perspective. I follow him as well. Let me see here. I'm gonna show y'all. Let me show y'all ET real quick.
Somalis have officially taken over the city of Minneapolis.
This is 2 months ago. This is 2 months ago. Hold on for a minute. Let me get down to the main thing here. I just want you guys to really see. Yeah, they're talking about the fraud right here.
Goose has a look at the brand new charges today.
The 74th person to be charged in the $300 million Feeding Our Future meal fraud case, Ahmed Naji Sheikh, is the brother of one of the most notorious defendants, Abdi Aziz Farah, who was recently sentenced to 28 years in prison. Farah was convicted with a group of others of stealing $50 million of taxpayer money. Now his brother Sheikh is accused of helping him launder that money.
Now, in any normal country, this would cause a major backlash from the native population. But liberals actually want this. This is the greatest form of social justice. And anyone else who dares to speak out against programs getting robbed that are meant to feed hungry children are silenced and called bigots and racist and intolerant. And when you understand the entire game plan, it starts to make sense. Did you guys know that 25% of Somalia's GDP comes from remittance, money being sent from the United States to Somalia? So the strategy is to steal money from the American taxpayer, give Somali residents free housing, free food, free school, free healthcare, give them such a comfortable lifestyle that they can afford to have 4 or 5 children, while the native-born population struggles to have 1, 2 if they're lucky. And then as their population outgrows the native population, they have more political power. And then they can enact legislation that exclusively benefits Somali people. And the money that's not exclusively for them, they can just steal it through fraud. And the more money they get, the more they send back to Somalia, because that is their goal. You heard the guy say it at the Ilhan Omar rally. But speaking of Ilhan Omar, someone who openly hates America and declares her allegiance for a foreign country, here she is going to a church and berating a bunch of white people for liking Charlie Kirk, a man who stood up for America instead of Somalia.
I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
Thank you. It is despicable that church would allow her to do that. And what's up with white liberals loving foreigners, telling them how evil they are?
Yeah, man, I never seen nothing like this from whites. I mean, she practically came in a church and spit in their face, and they over here saluting and clapping. You know what I'm saying? Man, I say the white liberals and liberals in general, it's just something in their brain, man. It just doesn't make any type of common sense or logic whatsoever. They want people to come into their country that hates America. And I'm already been convinced that a lot of your liberals in general hate America. You know what I'm saying? They hate America, right? When you have a system that is being pushed to protect these people, these interlopers that come into our country, cause this type of problems, take money from us, send money back to these terrorist organizations so they can weaponize themselves to attack America, sleeper cells, the whole deal. And on the left, that's all they do is they shout down, want to call us Islamophobes, right? Like, I ain't got nothing to be afraid of, nobody, no religion. And I'm sure in hell ain't afraid of no person that's a Muslim. Never have been. I have friends that are Muslims. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you can miss me with that. That ain't been my problem. We're talking about these particular people that sit in power, that are pushing regime change. And this is pretty much what they're doing. They're doing it through religion, playing nicey nice Muslim, right? In actuality, they're doing the opposite. It's what they're doing. So they have gotten a wish, thanks to President Trump. He's going to give them their Christmas gifts by sending ICE in and to get them up on out of here. You know, of course, we're not talking about every last one of them, but the ones that hate America, the ones see America fall, we do not need to have any Somali person in power, let alone anybody else. We don't need foreign-born people in our Congress, in our Senate. We don't need them being a governor, being a mayor. We do not need any of these people. Look at Taliba Rashid, right, over here in Dearborn. She's a congresswoman, Palestinian. Every time she opens her mouth, right, she talks bad about America, right? She didn't even dumb down. She didn't even shout down what has been going on in Dearborn lately. She when they said death to America. At least the mayor, I got to say this though, that's going to tell the truth on it. At least the mayor, Abdullah Hamoud, even he condemned it. They condemned it. You know, these groups condemned it. But Taliba Rashid did not condemn it. You know why? Because these were Palestinians in Dearborn that was taunting and shouting out death to America. She's not going to go against her people. She's not going to do it. When the news reporter, and you guys saw it earlier, I showed you the clip. The news reporter from Fox 2 tried to talk with Taliba Rashid. She did not have no comment. She said, I do not talk to Fox 2. Or she said Fox News. She said, I do not talk to Fox News. Right? Because she said that Fox News were a bunch of have racist epithets or whatever the case may be. She didn't feel comfortable in doing it. Instead of just shouting down and condemning death to America. So that means that Taliba Rashid supports her people, Palestinians in Dearborn. She supports this. She's Palestinian. She's not going to go against her people. We don't need a congressperson like this. And we need to impeach her and get her behind out of there because she's not qualified. Just like a lot of those police officers that I showed y'all earlier on the video. They are biased. They're not going to go. They're talking about separate but equal. You might as well say that they got these Arab police officers just patrolling their own community. Shit, wouldn't you hate to live in Dearborn, man, if you had a situation? You think you feel confident that an Arab police officer is going to come out here, take the police report, do the work? They're people, they're criminals. They even protect them. They protect their whole group of people, their clan. It's what they do. I showed that to you, he just had that stupid smirk on his face. These people should not be in law enforcement because I've said before, They show a lot of nepotism, favoritism. They're not going to go against their own people, man. We don't need people like that. Your job is to uphold the Constitution and keep up the law. The law, this is why there's a scale with a blindfold on it. You're not supposed to have bias towards a group of people and against other people because you don't agree anything. You are put in that position as a law enforcement. You are the law. But here it is. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. So, like I said, so look, I'm over 2 minutes. What's it, 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm about to shut it down pretty soon, though. But I give you guys, the opportunity to come up here and let's have the conversation and talk about these particular issues. Because if you live here in America, this relates to you too. This ain't just my America; it's your America too. If you're a citizen. Who does this affect? It affects every American. When they're over here chanting out shouts of death to America and all this other stuff, it has to be condemned. We have to shut it down. If we have to get in their ass to get them out of the country, then we have to do so. I'm gonna show let's say one more thing here. All right, let me go and pull this up.
Every place on the planet has some natural disaster. It's raining. We're going to drown. It's been raining for 5 minutes. Just get an umbrella. Here, have an umbrella. No. But this should be across the country. He posted this saying Minnesota under Governor Walz is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. A lot, millions. I am, as President of the United States, hereby terminating, effective immediately, the temporary protected status, the TPS program, for Somalis in Minnesota. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Send them.
$1 billion are missing. They have gangs in Minneapolis that are terrorizing the locals there, right? This is what's going on. President Trump signed this. I remember when he did it, right? TPS status cancel effective immediately. One thing with the liberal news, they're not going to tell the truth as to why President Trump is canceling the protective status, temporary protective status. They won't tell that. All they're just saying is that he's Islamophobe, he is attacking Muslims and all this other stuff, instead of saying what is really going on. You look at Minneapolis, they are inundated and overran by gangs and stuff like that. It's preying on the citizens over there. Then with these fraudulent autism clinics or whatever that they have set up, which is a front, the money is being taken out, siphoned out of America and going back to Somalia, back to the terrorist organization, El Shabaab. That's where his stuff is going. It's going to keep it real. I got the link down in the chat. For those, you may want to, if you want to talk about this stuff, you're more welcome. I'm giving you the opportunity to come up here. So that way you can make your voice known by being on the channel. It's amazing that a lot of you guys are finding me, which I'm glad, because I went to check to see if I can find myself today, and it's not, they're shadow banning me again. So I'm not able to see my own live. Normally on my cell phone, I can pull it up and see, but I can't see my live and things like that. So and it's just amazing. I can't even see it. I'm going to try again. I've been trying to look for my live, and that's how I know what they've been doing, because they don't want this information out. So I must be honored to be shadow banned for a guy that's not even monetized. No, I'm doing my job. When you ain't got no haters, that means you ain't doing your job. When you got haters, that means you're doing your job. And I've been on my job, right? Doing this type of stuff, right? Look at this. All my stuff been political for the most part of it. Talking about real things that matter to real Americans, right? Look at this. Shadow banning me all the way down. I do not see my live stream whatsoever. And I've been checking for it. Even right now, You know, I go to live, I don't see it. They don't want you to know the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You live here too. A lot of you live in America. Now, I know the game is going on, and see, they do this ish for a reason and a purpose. They want to distract you, take your mind off this type of stuff. This is why I don't follow sports anymore, because sports is nothing but a big distraction anyway. It has no relevancy to my life whatsoever. Watching athletes and millionaires run the ball up and down the damn gridiron, what am I getting out of that? Spending overpriced on tickets instead of what's really going on here in America. You know, instead of what's really going on. You know, my stuff's supposed to be coming up and it's not. But I always known this. This ain't the first time that my stuff be shadow banned down. They don't want this information out. You know, I'll be lucky to hit 2K. Sometimes I do, sometimes even a little more. But no, they're not going to do this type of stuff. They want you blind, deaf, and dumb, and want you drunk on sports and other BS that don't even matter. We're talking about the country here, right? This is exactly what it is. So, yeah, I shared with you guys what was going on in Dearborn earlier. Some of you guys that are coming in now, you may want to watch the video in the beginning, because I go right into it. I show the receipts in regards to what is happening here, right? I have shown the receipts. You even seen the guy that got punched, right? Sucker punch, right? I show the receipts. I showed you the receipt of what the Dearborn mayor has to say. Abdullah Hamoud. I showed you that, you know? That happened two months ago with when they had the town hall meeting and all this other type of stuff. Nobody is lying on these people. These people obviously hate America, the country that gave them so much. Well, we get very little in return, though. This is why we have to have a stricter, you know, immigration policies. Therefore, we don't want your filth. We don't want your garbage types of people coming into this country that don't not bring value. And that's what should have been happening in the beginning. Because if you bring over garbage people, this is what happened. These are peasants in their country. These are nobodies. Nobody becomes somebody in America. And I'm for that. Don't get me wrong. But let's take it further. We need engineers. We need doctors. We need people of a higher moral caliber, right? That wants the best for America. This is why I don't believe in dual citizenship. Because when it comes down to it, the country of their origin, Ilhan Omar, look at her. She even said it in her speeches, Somali first, right? Somali first, right? This is exactly what it is. I'm going to go and pull up the receipt. So therefore, I want people to hear what she has to say. Let me see if I can find it here. Because she should have never been in Congress, though, at all. You know? She becomes to be a congresswoman doing this, when everything she should be doing is about for all Americans. She says Somali first. Somali first. It's just amazing to me that her coming from a war-torn ass, no government, high violence and crime, and get overran by warlords and stuff, and she can fix her mouth to say that basically America, she attacking you whites. She attacking you whites. She said that you guys are the problem. She's been attacking the whites, right? Let me see. Representative Ilhan Umar faces calling resign for disgrace over a speech support. Yeah, I think I found it right here. Let's take a listen.
jawaabteeda waxay ahayd dowladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dowladda Mareykanka.
And this is disrespectful right here. Why is she speaking Somali when she should be speaking English? She's speaking Somali because her constituents are Somali, not U.S. We're talking about citizens in that area in Minnesota. Those are not her constituents. The Somali people are her constituents. Let's get it.
waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali haddii aan nahay waddankan annaga ku nool waddankan waddankii aan annaga
Let me move this out the way. Hold on for a minute.
waa waddankii gabar idinka dhalatay ee Congress-ka fadhiso intii aniga aan Congress joogo waddanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan waddanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan.
Look what she said. Look what she just said. Hold on for a minute. Let's go back. Hold on for a minute.
aniga aan Congress dowladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dowladda Mareykanka qabo waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali haddii aan nahay waddankan annaga ku nool waddankan waddankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye waa waddankii gabar idinka dhalatayne.
This country is one where one of your daughters sit in Congress, right? This is what she said. Hold on for a minute. While I'm in Congress, no one would take Somalia's seat. Look what she's saying. She's basically saying Somalia first, meaning anybody that comes in over there in Somalia, they'll attack the Somali people and so forth. You know, she said no one would take Somalia Sea. First of all, ain't nobody trying to take Somalia Sea, but they have a history of piracy in that region, attacking any ships that come through there, right? This is what she's protecting.
Nigga aan Congress joogo waddanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan.
Man, guys, can you imagine hearing that, man, every single day, man? Oh, my goodness. The United States will not back others to rob us.
Marka taas ka seexda reer Minnesota gabadhii Congress u dirsateen way idinka war haysaa sidaad idinka u dareemaysiin.
Hold on for a minute. Let me see if I can find the other speech. That was 6 years ago. Let's see if I can find something more recent. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is, you know what I'm saying? We run the city, you know what I'm saying? Somali, this and that. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. I think, let me see if I can find that one. If not, I may have to pull it up some other time. Let's take a look at this one here.
Somalis have officially taken over the city of Minneapolis. I used to call Minneapolis Little Somalia in jest, but it's not a joke. It is the official statement coming from the city's mayor. And
on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, the city of Minneapolis had a mayoral debate between incumbent mayor Jacob Frey and a newcomer, a young guy by the name of Omar Fateh. Now, Omar
don't even look like E.T. Look at that big old forehead, man. Look at them big old eyes and them long ass hands and arms, man. Look just like just remind me of E.T. so much. If E.T. was human, this is what he would look like, ladies and gentlemen.
Fateh is a Somalian American, and he's Somalian through and through. So much to the point that when he is speaking to his crowd, he doesn't speak in English. He speaks in Somalian. And a lot of people are upset about it.
Here's my question. This is a Somalian man running for office in an American city, waving a Somalian flag, speaking Somalian, to Somalians, telling them to vote for him, pledging loyalty to Somalia. Why isn't he in Somalia? Seriously, instead of advocating for importing tens of thousands of these people into the United States, why don't you just go live there if you love it so much?
Now, the Somalian community has been in Minnesota for, I don't know, about the last 30 to 40 years. And depending on who you ask, people sometimes love them or hate them. On one hand, the Somalians are, to some people, abrasive. They bring their customs.
Now, hold on. Let me just put this on pause for a moment. There's other refugee group status people that lives in Minnesota too. You got people that are Hmong, people that are Asian, that's from Asia, right? Hmong, right? They came over here, right? The Chinese and so forth. They don't really have a country of their own. So a lot of the refugees that's Hmong and that part in Asia, they came over here, Mongolians and so forth. They're over there in Minnesota. There's a large group of them in Minnesota. Why are we hearing Mongolians? People that are Hmong. Why are we hearing them all upset with America? Why aren't they chatting, right? Why aren't they, having an uprising? In fact, a lot of them are very model citizens over there in Minneapolis, right? You don't hear anything about them. Anybody know that ain't lying, though, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them that are Hmong, you know what I'm saying? This is a particular Asian race of them, right? That do not have their country. They're pretty much like nomads. But who brought them in? Americans, right? And I believe they came in right around the time that the Somalis and these other people came in. We have a large amount of Somali people here in Minneapolis, right? You got these particular groups, but the ones that we are hearing about with the scamming and the Somali gangs, right? They got these same problems over there in Canada. You go to places like Toronto, Canada has a very bad, very, very bad problem too when it comes down to immigration, right? Mass immigration in Canada, they're actually worse than America. At least we have a president that's been doing something about it. Yeah. Mark Carney, he ain't been doing shit about it, right? Justin Trudeau, he hasn't been doing nothing about it, right? Over there in Canada. That's our neighboring country over there, right? They have a major, massive problem with mass immigration. They got an influx of Indians over there. And man, it's so bad over there, man. I got friends that live in Canada, and we had these conversations every now and then, but it's pretty bad. And it was about to happen to us here in America until President Trump stepped up. And I mean, most of us that are Americans, we love the fact and love how Trump has stepped up to protect this country, making America first, to make sure that these other groups of people are not going to just run over American people, take advantage of American people. They've been stealing our money, taxpayers' money in Minneapolis. Dearborn, they've been funneling money as well, you know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of terrorist groups that's here in America, right? Don't make me none, but it's the truth. And I think that what Trump is doing right now is a phenomenal job of getting these people out of here. If you're an American, this matters to you as well, too. We all live here. This is the last frontier. This is the greatest country in the world. There's no other country. And if anybody that have been doing well, America opened its doors with this immigration stuff. I'm not talking about illegal immigration. I'm talking about when we had, with the refugees and all that, it was America that took them in. Just like you heard, they had this stuff, they had protective status going on 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? They've been over here for a long time. The Loop says, I can't seem to turn on my mic for some reason. Huh. Your account is validated to loop. Is it already do you have another account that you can go up under and then try with another account? You may have to log off this one and just type in that you are the loop, and then I'll invite you up. That offer still stand though. You can come over here and have a conversation with me about this mass immigration though, because I really would like to hear from you, man. I like to hear your perspective, what's going on in the UK, which is mirroring what's going on here in America, man. Yeah, I would like to hear from you. So try that and see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, though, I mean, we're seeing this type of stuff, man. Right? They have brought this up on themselves. They have rattled the beehive. They are the interlopers that come over here, meaning us more harm than good. Because if they were really doing us good, ladies and gentlemen, then we wouldn't have these scammy organizations posing and fronting that they care about autism and children and all this other type of nonsense. This is just cap. This is to show, they take advantage of our generosity. You know what I'm saying? We have done everything in Americans outside of the policies, being a great neighbor, offering them into the country. And look what they end up doing. They bite the hand that fed them, right? We've been bitten, ladies and gentlemen, over and over and over. And obviously the Democrats, the liberals, they don't care about that at all because these are their constituents. Somali people know who their constituents are. When you can speak in Somalian and not English, if that ain't a slap in the face, I don't know what is. To me, it's the most disrespectful thing that you can ever do, being a foreigner here in a land that's not yours, and the least that you can do is speak English, and you over here speaking in Somalian, right? This is a hell of a slap to the American face. Whites that allowed them to come over here, you're being called everything out your name. Ilhan Umar saying the problem is white men, white people, when white people are the same ones that brought them into the country. Right? It's a contradictory, ladies and gentlemen. It makes no sense at all. They have communities here. You don't see whites, angry whites going into their communities, burning it down, destroying their property. That ain't happening at all. But you have a uprising of Somali gangs that are running rampant in that city, in Minneapolis. Ask any Minneapolitan that, and they'll tell you the truth. Right? News travel fast, that's for sure. With social media, people are posting it up, In fact, I think I could show one more receipt on that and see here. Let me see if I can pull that up before I head out. Somali gangs in Minnesota. Let's look at it. I don't want to look at no liberal perspective. We're talking about the Somali gangs. Here we are right here.
This is the Killer Chronicles. On March 30th, 2021, the owner of Arcade Auto Body Shop in St. Paul, Minnesota, was viciously gunned down inside his shop in broad daylight by an assailant who stood just a few feet away and fired round after round with a semi-automatic pistol until the gun was empty while the victim raised his hands in the air. When police investigated, there was no apparent reason why anyone would want to kill 36-year-old Mohammed Jama Samatar, a teacher and business owner who had worked at a local mosque and who was married with 2 daughters. But when they identified a suspect, 31-year-old Mohammed Mohamud Farah, The authorities discovered a motive that traced back 13 years. In his youth, Samatar had been linked to a Somali American gang known as the Hot Boys, a group that reportedly originated as a band of singers before it turned to crime. In 2007, as a 22-year-old, he'd survived a shooting that put him...
I remember that group called the Hot Boys. I didn't know he had something to do with it.
...into a coma, and a year later he was a person of interest in a homicide, but never charged. In 2009, Farah had told police that Samatar, quote, put a hit out on Farah's brother amid a gang conflict. Now, more than a decade later, Farah had gotten his revenge. Farah and Samatar had similar backgrounds. They'd both come to Minnesota from Somalia in their youth, fleeing violence and civil war. And yet in America, they'd found themselves on opposite sides of a conflict that had nothing to do with their native country, but rather stemmed from gangs that originated in the Twin Cities. In the end, Farah received 27 years in prison. Quote, you left my kids fatherless and took away their happiness, Samatar's wife told him the day he was sentenced. Samatar's murder is one of the latest homicides tied to a relatively small but notorious cropping of gangs in Minnesota that have slowly grown over the past 25 years. On the national stage, Minnesota is perhaps best known for producing some of the biggest recent police controversies in the nation, like the murders of George Floyd and Justine Damon, the killing of Philando Castile by a cop later acquitted of manslaughter and promptly fired, and most recently the killing of Dante Wright and subsequent manslaughter conviction of ex-officer Kim Potter. Though the state is hardly known as a hotbed for gang activity, the FBI recognizes only around 24 different criminal street gangs in Minnesota, mostly well-known groups, infamous outlaw biker gangs such as the Hells Angels, or traditional street gangs like the Vice Lords or Gangster Disciples. But Minnesota is also home to a rare phenomenon. It is one of the only states in the U.S. with dominant Somali American gangs, most of which are situated in the Twin Cities. Some of them have aligned with the Bloods or the Crips. Some have successfully broken into the rap game, and a few are locked in violent rivalries that spanned decades and show no sign of stopping. This is their story. Minnesota's Somali American population was virtually non-existent until the 1990s, when Somalia's former leader, Mohammed Siad Barre, was ejected from what had essentially been dictatorial rule, leading to widespread violence and civil war across the country. Massive amounts of starvation that affected adults and children alike, and ultimately displaced roughly 2 million civilians who became refugees. A few thousand who came to America initially settled in San Diego, California, but the Twin Cities soon became an unlikely destination for Somali refugees. They came here after word spread that good jobs were to be found, and that due to Minnesota's history of welcoming refugees dating back to World War II. But not everyone was so welcoming. A gang of white youths, known as the All-American Boys, were linked to a number of attacks on Somali immigrants in the mid-1990s, including an assault on a 12-year-old boy who was beaten unconscious with clubs. In the face of this violence, and caught between American society and parents who tended to be conservative Muslims, many second-generation Somali immigrants began banding together, and a fraction of them would go on to form gangs that exist to this day. According to numbers put forth by federal authorities, which aren't always accurate, as they're often based on anecdotes from informants or arrest data that may paint an incomplete picture, the number of Somali American gang members is a tiny portion of the estimated 80 to 120,000 Somali American population in Minnesota.
All right, just want to stop that for a little bit. So you guys got the gist of it. Just want to share a little bit in history of what's been going on with these Somali gangs and stuff that were breeded here in America in what we call Minneapolis, right? So they do hold the largest Somali community there in Minneapolis. So now that they're temporary, when we say the temporary immigration or whatever that's been removed, and now that has been removed, here it is, here we are right now. So there's going to be a lot of ICE and rounding them up in deportation, mass deportation. It has to happen. All I got to say is It's the ones that are behind it. You guys never spoke out against the criminal activity. You guys never tried to help. You said Somali first. You didn't say America first. That's on grounds of termination right there, you know? So therefore, I'm gonna go ahead and close this, man. To my close, we talked about Dearborn for those that are coming in now. We talked about Dearborn, Michigan, where you have let's say 55% Muslims in that area over there, where they actually have their Arab police officers that only protect their own community. They leave the non-Muslims, which are Christians and so forth, out. They only protect their own. They cover down their own. They display nepotism, favoritism in Dearborn, right? You even have a Dearborn mayor. They even got a street named after a known terrorist, right? So they're feeling, now they're not going to be feeling so comfortable now that Dearborn is a hotbed for ICE agents to start to come over there. And we know a lot of those people over there are not legal because they're overused work visas and so forth. And we need to purge that city, get them out of there, remove the interlopers, get them up on out of there. And also, we need to do the same in Minneapolis as well before this cancer starts spreading into a community that you may not want. Remember, you know, America first. It's not Somalia first, and this is not Lebanon first, right? This is not Iraqi first, right? This is not any of these countries first. This is not Iran first, Palestine first. It is America first. This is what that is. So yeah, so other than that, I think I covered down everything. I just want to, let me see here, the Star Spangled Banner. I will always want to, you know what I'm saying, I always want to lead on that, you know. Let me see here. All right, let's take a look at it here. The Star Spangled Banner. All right, let me see here. All right. Oh boy, it's a little choppy here. Hold on for a minute. Let me pull this up here.
See by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Star stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of our free and the
It's a beautiful, beautiful, man. I love the Star Spangled Banner, man. I love the Star Spangled Banner, man. It's a beautiful thing. The land of the free and the home of the brave, man. Thank God that we have what we call the Constitution. Unlike no country in the world, we are not given privileges from a dictator, monarchy, and so forth. We actually have rights. We, the government that you see, is not the people. We, the people. We have representatives, which is the government that represents the people, We don't need to forget that. Please do not forget that, right? We are not given privileges. We have the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, right? We have these God-given rights. We are not any other nation where we have to be asked permission to be able to speak. Look at what they did in the UK. They have what we call freedom of speech. They don't have freedom of speech. They don't have a constitution, not like ours. Their government is given to them by a bunch of privileges, not rights. Look at Germany, look at France. We can name the countries in the world. They do not have this, ladies and gentlemen. We are the last frontier. We have a thing called guns. That's the Second Amendment rights, right? I'm going to go down through this before we go, right? The guns, right? Second Amendment. People need to remember this because we already know those cops that I showed. Those Arab cops don't know nothing about this. They don't know anything about this stuff, man. It's having it sworn in is just don't mean nothing to them, man. But let's go ahead and go down through it. Constitution amendments. The Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms. The amendment to the Constitution was ratified in December the 15th, 1791. It protects the rights for Americans to possess fire or possess weapons for the protection of themselves, their rights, and their property. This is what the Second Amendment grants us, right? This is exactly what it is. We have that right. There's no other nation in the world that grant their people the rights to bear arms. And when we give up our rights, we give up our freedom, we give up our sovereignty and everything. This is the great equalizer right here. The man that has the gun set the rules, right? This is exactly what it is. Might is right. Might is right. You know? This is exactly what we're dealing with here, right? We have the First Amendment, which I know that they don't know. They don't know nothing about this stuff. It's just clowns in police uniforms. They don't know nothing about this stuff. They don't even have a constitution in their country. So how in the hell are they going to know about this stuff? You would think, you know, what were they doing sleeping when they become an American citizen? Probably so. They don't know nothing about this stuff. But we ain't going to allow you to run wild and run rampant on America. No, you're not going to do it. First Amendment right, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, to have the right to assembly and to partition, right? We have this type of rights, right? This is exactly what it is. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right to the people's peaceability to assemble and to petition the government for the redress or of grievance, right? This is exactly what it is. This is all under the First Amendment. We have that. We have that right. Freedom of speech. As long as I'm not doing it in a violent manner, being threatening. Don't y'all find that when the Palestinians had that protest a few days ago, death to America. Guess what? If you are American out there and you're saying death to America, you have violated the First Amendment rights. You don't get the chance to say whatever you want. You can protest and you can criticize the government, the president, you know. You're even allowed to call them names. But what you're not allowed to do is say death to America. Who are they virtual signaling towards. What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? What the hell, right? So this is why these people got to go. They got to go. I'm tired of hearing and seeing this type of crap, this stuff. Listen, y'all have to go. Mass roundup. Man, why does it say that your device is not connected? I'm going to add you on. Authenticate with YouTube. Why does it keep saying that? It's not getting me to have you on here, man. It says you would need to connect your microphone cam before you can add to the stream. Hold on for one moment. Let me just see something here. My microphone and camera is on. It says about for you. Let me see something here for a minute. What the hell is going on? Let me see here. Hold on for a minute. Okay, guess blah blah blah. Guess must authenticate. Let's take that off. Guests can stream. Okay. All right. Let's do this here. All right. I turned off the must authenticate. So I'm gonna kick you off for a minute and then you come back on loop and we'll try it again. See if this may work. All right. And then try to come back again, the loop. Try to come back again. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see here. Still says device. Don't understand why that's doing that. I went into my settings. I went into my settings. Guess must authenticate. Nope. Guess sees viewer comments and posts. Play. Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that. That's amazing. Truly amazing, man. I'm trying to get you on here. Keep saying your device is not connected to loop. I don't know what else to be able to tell you, man. Yeah, that's amazing there, man. I can't seem to get you on. Yep, I can't seem to get you on, man. I don't know why. Yeah, we've been streaming for 3 hours now and things. But at any event, man, yeah, for some reason it's not allowing you. It says that your mic, your microphone is not attached. I don't know what's going on with your phone. I don't know why the microphone is not attached. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Why that's not working. Let me see your private chat. Let's take a look at it here. Okay. I see you over here. Need to start checking my private chats, man, more often. All right, there you go. You know what I can do? Let me see if I can email you. I'm gonna drop the link down here. Hold on for a minute. And yeah, man, I'm gonna see if I can send you a link. You can be on the private chat line. That way you ain't gotta put your email on the public. Hold on for a minute. Let me do this here. Private chat. Just give me a moment, people. Let's see here. Invite. Why don't you put your email in the private chat? Because it's going to be a Gmail account. So yeah, I can do that. I'm gonna send it to you through the email. See if that may work. Let's take a look at it. All right, here we are. Just tell me what your email is in the private chat. What is your email? All right, what is your email? Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, the loop is private. Nobody can't see your email address on this private line. It's just you and me. Okay, thanks. Let me do this here. I'm going to go ahead and send this to you. See if this may work. All right. All right. And then I'm going to send this to you right now. All right. There we go. I just sent that to you. All right. There we go. All right. So, yeah, I just sent that to you there, the loop. Let's see if that may work. Let's see if that works. And I appreciate the participation today. Most of you guys showed up and things. So, once again, I'm going to try to get the loop on here. He's actually coming from the UK to be able to talk about what we talked about earlier about the Dearborn situation. Yeah, no microphone, man. Wow, no microphone. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, the loop, man. It still says device not connected. I don't know what is going on over there, man. Yeah. Man, I would love to hear. I'm going to have to get some type of, let me see here. How can I do this here, man? Hold on for a minute. Let's see here. Let's take a look at it here. Let me see here. Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, let's see what I can do here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on for one moment. Let's see. I'm going to try one more thing here. Come on now. All right, man. This internet, man, just moving really slow today. But for the most part of it, we covered everything, though, right? We covered everything today. Talking about, Dearborn, Minneapolis, with these angry Muslims that hate America. They want to see America fall so they can take over. Talked about this stuff. And we're just not going to allow them to do it. No, we're not. We are not going to falter. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to go away. Yep, we're not going to do it. We're going to resist and be America. You know what I'm saying? But this is the greatest country on earth. No other nation has a constitution quite like what we have. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to fall to our enemies. This is about freedom, right? Yeah, this is exactly what this is about. see, I'm gonna try something here. Give me one moment. Security check. Why am I getting hit with a security check? Let's see here. Hold on for one moment. Nope, still not working. I'm trying to sign in. I tried to use another service though too. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there that is. I tried to do something else to loop, and unfortunately it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. We may have to try this some other time, man. I would love to have you on, man. I'm gonna have to get some type of mobile device. I'm gonna get a telephone system where all you can call in on the telephone number and we can talk about it. I'm gonna have it posted up. We need to have more interaction conversations now. It's that time, right? So yeah, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being a part of something great. Some random guy speaks talking about this mass immigration stuff that's not working in America. We have been trying to have uprises here, trying to denounce America, trying to take it over with the leading of Islam and so forth. And, you know, we're not going to allow that to happen. They are a guest in our country. You know, they've been given rights, but those rights can be taken away like anything else. Just because you're born here or you were given, because if your parents are not natively born, that doesn't mean that because you were born here that you're an American citizen. Because as you can see, Trump have taken away the temporary protection status, right? He's taking that away from the Somali people, rightfully so, with the uprising of gang activity, scamming with these fraudulent agencies that's been ripping American taxpayers off in that area in Minneapolis. He has every right to do what he said he was going to do. And I stand with it. This is what I voted for, ladies and gentlemen. I voted for this, right? No problem with it at all. I voted for Trump. We gave him a mandate to carry out. He ran on this on his campaign promise, right? And we want the mass deportation. This is what many of us wanted, to be able to take America back, right? For these people that's over here stealing jobs from us, stealing our money, funneling it back to their countries and stuff to fuel terrorism, right? And all the Dems got to do is just sit back and say, oh, how we are Islamophobes and how we don't like these people and all that. Where I done showed receipts of what they've been doing. They do not want America to be America. They want to take it over for themselves. This is a vendetta. They blame America for their war-torn countries. Keep in mind, Trump wasn't responsible for that. This goes back to Obama and the Bushes. It's going to keep it real. Trump didn't have anything to do with that. 9/11, we were around. Many of us know it's to be an inside job in the first place. Because who enriched themselves off that war? Dick Cheney, Halliburton, and these privatization of these military contracts and stuff. They were making money off the the military industrial complex. They have been enriching themselves off of these forever wars that Trump have stopped. This is why they hate Trump so much. Because had it been left up to a president that has been selected and bought. President Trump is not a bought president. He's his own man. He's been a billionaire many times over. And that's another thing that they hate. They hate the fact that Trump can't be controlled. All our other presidents were selected. They weren't elected. They were selected by the establishment. Trump is the only one. That's why he's got relentless attacks against him. They want to shut him down, ladies and gentlemen, with the assassination attempts and so forth. They want to silence his voice forever so they can take over America again. The fight is still going on. The tariffs that Trump has established in this country, making America a very, very rich country. Wait until the first of the year rolls around with all these naysayers that don't know what they're talking about when the jobs really start flowing in. We got companies and tech companies and people that are manufacturing, and Toyota and Honda and Volkswagen, a lot of them, semiconductors, a lot of this AI technology, all this stuff coming to America. All of it. Influx of money that we never seen before coming to America, right? Which America is going to be enriching itself. There's always tomorrow, but what tomorrow do you want to go live? I'm going to try to go live like I did today. I think I started around 10-ish, maybe even sooner. But, you know, you following me now, so you can check my posts when I post, and then we can link up from there. But I would love to hear what you have to say, The Loop. You know, maybe you can probably try a computer or try another device and see if that may work. So I can have you on and things, you know. And for the rest of you, I appreciate you guys for showing up for the show, checking it out, talking about this as well, because, you know, it doesn't look good for them. It looks good for us. I love, you know, the position that Trump did with these with the transportation industry as well, the CDL license holders and so forth. They're getting a lot of these illegals up off the roads. They don't speak English. This is another issue. This is making it great right now for Americans. If you are looking for a job, Americans, may want to look at the truck driving industry. CDL license, right? Get your CDLs. Be able to get out here and make some money on the road. Right now, truckers are in high demand. Now that we got a lot of these incompetent, no English speaking people out from the wheels of trucking. The crackdown is real. This is what I voted for again. And now that we are getting a pushback, and now that things are normalizing itself, you know, sorry, there's always tomorrow, but oh yeah, I read that already. So yeah. But yeah, just look for my post in The Loop when I go live, and I'll invite you up. We can have this conversation, and that's for anybody else. You're always welcome to have the conversations, though, right? In regards to this particular topic. Tell me what you think about it, you know, and everybody's entitled for an opinion, right? To an opinion. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead on and shut it down. The Palestinian protests call for death to America, mass deportation on the way. We already discussed that already. We already talked about the Somalis, rejects that's over here in this country that hate America as well too, right? We talked about the Somali gangs, crime, violence that's going on or whatever like that. And ICE, after the first of the year, big, beautiful bill, it's going to be in the budget where we're going to have nothing but ICE agents flooding in zones, getting them up on out of here. We're taking America back already, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? This is the hottest country on earth. It's America. And if it was up to everybody else, they would love to be an American citizen. The Brits would love to be over here in America. You know what I'm saying? They would love, because they want the freedom too. Who don't? Who doesn't? Anybody in the world that appreciate freedom or never experienced freedom, you can get it over here in America. You know, if America was so bad, we wouldn't even allow people to be a Muslim over here in America if America was so damn bad. You can hold prayer have a mosque, right? Observe Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no right wing or any lunatic coming in there bombing mosques. I ain't saying it didn't happen, but I'm saying this is not the norm. We are under the Constitution. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press. It says so in our Constitution. Let no one infringe on our rights, people. Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms. We have a right to bear arms as citizens. Even though the Democrats don't believe in the Constitution, they're always trying to disarm us under the guise of mass shootings and so forth. That we know that a lot of them are perpetrating and starting it. It's not us. You know, guns don't cause violence, gun violence. It's stupid people that cause violence. You don't want to live in a country where you can't have the right to bear arms. That means you're leaving it up to the government to have any say so with a bunch of privileges. Just ask the UK. Ask any. That's why I want to have the Loop on here so he can basically back up what I'm saying to you guys. You ain't got to take my word for it. You can take a word from a Brit. He can tell you better than I can, because I don't live in obviously I don't live in the UK. But one thing about it is I do observe and I do see and I do read what's going on over there. It's not good. It's not good. So I appreciate you guys being part once again of something great. Be nice if my numbers was a little higher, but like I said, YouTube itself does not like this type of talk. They consider it rhetoric and things, but it's not. This is the truth. And it has to get out, you know. The Loop says, if I can't get it on, I'll give you my number and put a loudspeaker on. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can definitely do that or whatever, when I can put you on, though, you know. Because, yeah, that'd be real cool, man, if I can get you in on here. And therefore, we can have the conversation, you know. Because I want people to be able to hear and do participate into the conversation, though, man, because this is really real. It's not made up. Other than that, give a shouts out. The Loop, you killed it today. I would like to have you on. We'll see. We'll try it tomorrow. Give a shout out to Omega. Give a shout out to Joe Mama. Give a shout out to Sherry Lady. Give a shout out to Angelica, Barbecue Roadkill, 1000 RR, Billy Sharp, keeping it sharp with Billy Sharp, keeping it right with Brother Dwight, you know, personal friend of mine. Omega 2. Let me see here. Who else did I didn't leave? I want to make sure I got most of the people here, you know, and others that support the channel as well, though, you know. So other than that, go share this with other people, you know, whether you're American or not, you know. If America rise, I do believe that other nations will rise too, right? We got to get rid of these crooked people, right? Like your Starmers, we got to get them out of there. Your Macrons, we got to get them out of there, right? We got to get these type of people, and the one over in Germany, the Green Party, we got to get rid of these people out of here. They don't mean no good for them, for the people over there in their countries, right? Look at the infrastructures they've been attacking over there in Germany. You know, blew up their reactors and their power plants over there to push this new Green Deal bullshit, right? Don't think I don't know about it. I do, you know? And that's what they were trying to do over here in America, pushing the EV, you know? And I don't like EVs. I've driven them. I don't like them because there's no range on them. It costs the country a hell of a lot of money to set up those type of infrastructures. It's cheaper to run gas instead of trying to have a stupid EV truck that would try to drive cross country. When we can do gas is way more efficient and it's cheap, and we have plenty of it here in America. That's why Trump said, drill, baby, drill. We got more oil reserves under our feet here in America. Drill, baby, drill, right? The Loop says, no one can block the truth, even YouTube, my American friend. Yeah, my UK friend, The Loop, you're always welcome to come in here, man, and things, man, just to have you on and things. So you're more welcome here. You got a friend here in the US, you know. I hope I have a friend out there as well, whether if you are in the United States or not, you know. I appreciate you guys, though. The truth must come out about these people that mean our country harm. And I want to see things coming from the UK better too, you know. But yeah, definitely. So other than that, I'm about to go ahead and shut it down. I thank you guys for being part of Some Random Guy Speaks. Once again, I'm your host, Tony. I appreciate you, the Loop, for being on the channel, coming out of the UK, where we're going to get together and have a discussion, you know. So for those that are coming in now, you can probably definitely watch the live video stream, because it's going to turn into a video afterwards. So yeah, you guys be sure to check that out. That's all we do over here, is talk the truth in regards to what is going on. The truth, not lies, not like the left, not like these DNC and all the rest of them. No, these liberals that have been lying to the American people. They will not show this on the news. These are independent journalists that's reporting this, a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some of it have gone to the local, but Fox cover it. The rest of them don't. Fox do. Right? So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. I appreciate you guys for showing up. I'm about to go ahead and shut it down. It's over 3 hours talking about this stuff, you know? So other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving as well. We got one more holiday, which is Christmas, that's coming up. That's right, I said it, Christmas. So for you Muslims that don't celebrate Christmas, that's all right. But you don't have the right to infringe your beliefs on other people. I would never say that you can't practice Ramadan and all the rest of this stuff. So let's stop the hypocrisy. If you don't like being in a Christian country, why don't you go back to your country? Go back to the place where you came from. That'll stop a lot of that. And don't forget to self-deport too. The CCP app or the CPP app. Yeah, why don't you go on the CPP app and self-deport yourself now? For those that are illegal, right, that don't belong in America, your visas have run out. Get on the CPP app and self-deport now, because if they catch you, you will never be able to come back into America ever again. So this is a public service announcement for all, right, that are illegal. You may want to get on the CPP app, the CCP1 app, and self-deport right now while you still got a chance. And for those that want to follow me on Rumble. On Rumble, I go by a random mail. It's down, that's scrolling at the bottom there. The Loop, follow, if you have Rumble, man, download Rumble and follow me on Rumble as well too. I go by the name A Random Mail on Rumble. If you want more truth, because like I said, I've been trying to build up my Rumble page over there. Therefore, I can go live. All I need is one more follower, then I can go live over there. So please follow me on Rumble. Yep, do me a solid. I go by A Random Mail on Rumble, right? Therefore, I don't have these restrictions. I don't have to worry about being shadow banned, right? I can push my message and get my message out. And that's what it's about. If you are an American and you stand for freedom, then you will follow me on Rumble. Don't take much to do that. Rumble has been taken off very well now. They are rivaling YouTube. We know that YouTube do not like this type of speech, right? They want to censor it, right? Obviously, because my numbers used to be up there really high and it's been shadow banning me. I know it. This is why I could not find my channel, right? So other than that, do me a solid, ladies and gentlemen. Follow me on Rumble, a random male. If you do me that solid, then I can start pushing content over there as well as over here. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you tomorrow on another live. Peace. Oh, yeah, I did do the American anthem, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. The Star Spangled Banner. You know what I'm saying? I think I did that, right? And let's go ahead and do it here. We'll do it one more time. Hold on for a minute. We're going to do it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. We're going to celebrate. Let me stop that. And I don't want to deal with that copyright thing. I tell you. Here we go.
See by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Star stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Thank you, guys. And I'll see y'all next time. I'm going to start playing the Star Spangled Banner before and after and things like that. I'm not trolling anybody. And, but like I said before, this will be something I'm going to start doing. I appreciate you guys. Peace. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and subscribe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank